charts and cameras to prove what they say. But the sun didn't set and the planet didn't end. Now they're scratching their heads and calling it pretend. The world kept spinning as the light stayed on. Flat earthers tried to cheer, but the proof was gone. Antarctica showed them what they didn't want to see. A globe's victory, reality's decree. Flat earth tears on frozen ground. Globers dancing all around. Their theories crumbled under the sun's bright truth. Science won the game and crushed the untruth. They packed up their disbelief, hid it in a case. Still cried conspiracy to save some face. No edge to find, no great abyss, just a round earth with a daylight kiss. The skeptics lost in a luminous parade, under a sky that never betrayed. Flat earthers sighed, holding maps and lies. Globers laughed beneath an Arctic sky. Yes, the earth's a globe spinning every day, a fact that even night cannot sway. They came to prove the world was flat, but the endless sun was having none of that. Dive into madness, where shadows collide. A podcast of chaos, where truths are denied. The Drunk Debunk Show, unraveling lies. Mike and his guests, unveiling disguise. Conspiracies tremble as we break through the haze, unmasking illusions with a thunderous blaze. Electronic beats intertwined with steel, unleashing the truth with an unstoppable zeal. Welcome to the Drunk Debunk Show, where we expose the secrets that they don't want you to know. EM meets metal, an explosive blend, unexplosive blend, unraveling conspiracies until the very end.
Hello and welcome back to the Drunk Debunk Show. I am your host, Mike over IP. This is your first time here. Welcome. I was not expecting the amount of new people that I was going to be attracting with that Keith video. So if you're tuned in and you're new to this live stream, welcome. I'll be I'm forever grateful for the support I got from that video. I got overnight I got 85 more subs. So I'm over 120 subs now. Holy shit. For the Drunk Debunk Show. And this is because of one video. So I do appreciate everybody who interacted, engaged with that video. I am certainly going to be going over all the comments. There's almost 80 comments on that video. I probably looked at 20 of them. So I got a lot of work to do. But again, thank you so much for if you're here from that. What's up, Kathy? How you doing? My sister's over on the YouTubes. We got ASK dancing to the sweet beats. We were doing a lesson yesterday about the globe, and I started singing this song in my head. Fantastic. Yo, coffee was good. Hold on, I gotta start a pot of coffee and get some white fudge Oreos for this. Let's go. I got the red fudge Oreos today because my son's great favorite cookie is the Oreo, and he just got some more medicine. So it's medicine and cookie time. Medicine and cookie time. Also, you know what really sucks is is both my lights now don't talk to my Wi-Fi. So I need to figure out how to do that. So right now you see washed out Mike. Hello, I am washed out Mike. Let's see if I can. I'm gonna. Let's see if I can. It's kind of lower. Oh nope, we don't want to do that. Oh God. Oh God. All right. I mean, I guess that's better than nothing. How about can we up some saturation here? There we go. All right. All right. Well, I think that's as good as it's gonna get. Make sure the gesture settings are off. Perfect. Okay. Let me get some music started here. So good news. I actually got Tyler Philby to join us. Holy shit. That oh whoops. I gotta update this thumbnail. What did I call it? TDDS. There it is. There we go. I did call it an interview because you know me. I don't like confrontation, but like if he starts talking really stupid, then we're gonna have to change gears. But so you all know this is a safe space. But if he starts being really dumb, then I'm gonna have to go FDFE on him. Poor kitties. Yeah, he's always sick too. So I took him to the doctor today, and they said that the ear infection is no longer acute, and they tested him for RSV, negative on the RSV. So they're thinking it's just a continuation of the ear infection. So they got him on some really disgusting medicine.
From a tall glass of wine, whisper to the moon and call it an old friend. Journey on this ball that never seems to end. Gravity's a myth when you're high on a trend. Drunk on life till we reach the bend. Fill up the glass and let's toast to the night.
All right, I had to do husbandly duties. That sucks. Yeah, it really does. Yeah, it's just like he can't keep anything down, and it's like he's like. It just sucks. So he's actually been sleeping since about 3 o'clock this afternoon. So yo, Cuppy is back. All right, let's go. So I need to here's I know, poor little dude. Yeah, he's not doing the best, but what was I doing? I have to bring up Zoom. Right, Zoom. Zoom. All right, new meeting. Oh my God, dude, I'm so washed out on this. Holy shit. Oh, my hair is like... Look at, I'm super washed out though, because my legs, I can't change them. I have to set up the other router. All right, it's a router issue. My new router doesn't. All right, I'm gonna change my background here for him. Let's see, adjust background. I'm gonna be in space. but I'm not going to do green screen. It's just going to be me in space. All right, man, that looks like shit, but I really don't care. I feel like me being in space will be accurate to. Oh my god, what is happening with this? Look at this. Look at like Zoom. Where you at? Where you at, Zoom? Actually, you know what? Let's do that. I have a green screen. Fuck it. There you go. At least that looks a little bit better, right? But I'm in space. You can see the curvature of the Earth. All right, let's get this. I need to send him copy the invite link. I'm just gonna mute everything. We're gonna go over to the Facebooks and send him the link. So this is how the conversation went. Okay, you ready? He said, I sent him like, don't run away from answering this question, which is, this is the question, right? Make up your mind, Flurfs. Is your small local sun in space, above the clouds, in the clouds, or under them, right? So I said, don't run away from this. And then I said, I'd love to have you on my show. I sent him a link to the show, and I bumped it on November 19th. On November 23rd, I said, come on, man, don't be a little baby. Come and face some opposition for once. Monday, I said, hello, I need to speak with you, Tyler. He said, what's up? And I said, perfect tonight. Oh yeah, I already read all that before. So you in or out? I have a few other flat earthers lined up, but you're my priority. He said, you got someone else lined up, go for it. I'm good for now. And then like 2 hours later, he says, you still want to do it? And I said, yes, I'd rather have you on. And then at 1:21 a.m., he sent a message and then unsent it before I could see it. And then I said, at 7 tonight, I said, hey, but I'll be sending you a Zoom link at 9. Hope to see you there. He said, what kind of format you want? I said, I mean, I'm down for a go with the flow kind of thing. I just want you to bring your best evidence so we can talk about it. So if there's a specific topic you'd like to talk about, that's up to you. Otherwise, we can just talk about random FE topics. He said, all right, as long as chat is respectful, could be fun. I said, sure, was my response to that. And then he called me at 8:41. I picked up, but he didn't answer. He didn't say anything. So now I'm going to send him the Zoom link. There we go. All right, the Zoom link is sent. He should be joining us soon, but I'm going to come over here. I don't want to spoil any surprises, you guys. All right, let's see. Back to chat. Hello, Sean Hawkins. Hello. Oh, that's awful. No offense. I forget what you were saying that to. You have an otherworldly glow. Oh, that's the whitewash. Yo, Noam, how you doing, buddy? What a week I had at work. I need a beer. I'll be getting a beer after we get dinner. Who? Tyler Philby, my friend. Your space background, sweetie. It's terrible. No. Oh, it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be awful. That's it. That's the idea. That's the idea. It's supposed to be as terrible as possible. See, I don't care about production value when it comes to how I look to my interviewees, right? Is what you guys are seeing. You know what I'm saying? It's what you guys are seeing. So this is all fucked up. Why is this not working? I need this to work. Man, I don't understand how people can primarily stream to YouTube. I don't like, this is just awful. All right, live control room. All right, can we like work now? Can we work? Is it working? Oh yeah, it's working. All right, cool. All right, cool. All right, so welcome in all you newbies on the YouTube side. I super appreciate the response I got to that Flatzoid video. Yeah, he's a dumb piece of crap, and after, I don't know how long this is gonna last, this interview, because I'm gonna get pretty disrespectful, because he has a lot to answer to. I mean, he posts so much on that Facebook page that I found him on, and it's just all super stupid, ignorant stuff that's been debunked many times. So we're going with Angel's Envy again tonight, for the whiskey of choice. So we're gonna start out with our we're gonna start out because he's gonna be hopping on soon. Hopefully he doesn't bail. That would just be really awful if he just bails. So let's get we got to get our music on, guys. We got to get our Drunk Debunk show music going. All right, guys, now we toast to the Drunk Debunk show, to you guys who make this show possible, to all the new people that are on YouTube. Thank you so much for all the support. I can't wait to see what kind of more support I get. To you guys, thank you. Cheers. Oh, that's delicious. That is delicious. All right, we got oh, this is what he looks like. All right, he is on. He has joined, so let's right on time. All right, we're gonna go into interview view. Boop. All right, here we go. You guys ready for this? We got Tyler Philby on the line. We're gonna go ahead and get him centered here. All right. This is he's not really. Actually, you know what? I can just do it over here. We're debunking bunk. Show conspiracy theories. Gotta let it go. Drunk debunk. All right, let's get this. You know what? Let's do this. All right, and then do this. Oh yeah. All right, that's good enough for me. All right, here we go. All right, guys, you ready? I have to turn this music off. Get this up. Oh. Yo, what's up, Tyler? How you doing, bud?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, welcome to the Drunk Debunk show. How are you? I'm really glad that you're here.
Right on. Well, you wanted me here.
I did. I wanted you badly.
Okay.
It's just you have a lot to say on that Facebook group, and I really wanted to hear what you had to say in person. And so my name is Mike. The guys, this is Tyler. Everyone say hello to Tyler. Tyler, tell us about yourself.
About myself?
Yeah, of course. You're a person. You're a human. You have a story. I want to know your story.
Where to start? I don't know. Average kid, grew up, did sports, high school. Nothing too interesting. Did graduate. You know, like we're not supposed to. Did the regular thing, got married, had a couple kids, diagnosed with cancer, fought cancer for a year and a half, survived that, and self-employed for 25 years, and yeah, live in a beautiful home on a beautiful mountain, and I just enjoy what I do, and I love flat earth stuff, and there's a lot more to it than just, you know, flat, round, whatever, so yeah. I just enjoy it, all that stuff, so call it a hobby.
A hobby? Beautiful. This is my hobby too. My little talk show here is my hobby. So what brought you to the flat earth side?
It's probably 2006. I was doing a lot of research on the moon landing stuff, and just a bunch of stuff wasn't adding up. So I kind of tiptoed in that for a couple of years, and then kind of didn't really think about it much. And then I kind of got back into the moon landing stuff, and I'm like, I looked at some even more stuff, and I'm like, this thing is totally fake. Like, what? Okay, so, and then you get in that thing where it's like, okay, what else are they lying about? Like, and I eventually come to the point where it's like, don't tell me I'm going to get into one of the splatter stuff things. Like, no, I'm not going there. And no, it just didn't matter. The more I kept searching for answers on certain things, the more everything started connecting and filling in blanks with other things. And so you start kind of piecing things together, and then it just turns into this endless kind of spiral. Like once you figure something out, then, oh, it validates this. Oh, that's the missing piece. Oh, this. And so it just keeps going and going, and then we all get to the point and it's like, why would they want to lie to us about where we live? You know, we only get one shot here, as far as most people think. Why would they want to make, you know, this place torture and lie about us and not tell us the truth about all this stuff? And then it just goes, and then you just realize the reasons why, the motivations, and you know, eventually yeah,
Yeah.
it's a full-blown attack on spirituality for the most part. So that's why, you know, a lot of Globers, they get obsessed with like measurements and tell us how far away this is, or what's the size of the sun and all this stuff. Like everything has to be mathematical, like your house. You know, my house is this big and it's got this many bathrooms and bedrooms, and you know, they want to compartmentalize this realm that we live in as, you know, something like you could measure like your house with, like, oh, it's this and this, and it's cut and dry, cool. So it seems simple at first. I never thought I would get into it as far as I have, but anyway, it just goes. I've been in it so it was literally about 2015, 2016. I got my first P900.
Yeah.
And I think what really set me off was I was just outside in my front yard one day with my camera. You know, I'm just filming. I'm seeing how far I can, you know, zoom down my street, you know, just the regular stuff. And a chem plane come flying overhead. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. So I'm looking at the chem plane, and the shadow of the chemtrail is reflecting off the firmament. And that just blew my mind. I'm like, the sun's right there. We know it's not in space, but it is reflecting a shadow of the chemtrail onto the firmament. I'm like, wait a minute. So from there, it was just, yeah.
All right. Very, very interesting. I mean, so when you say that you were trying to fill in the blanks, would you say that you're trying to fill it in with, explaining with like looking to explain, things with the globe sense, or with flat earth stuff? Like were you looking to answer questions by looking at like science, or by the science of flat earth?
Well, I was relying more on what I could observe. And, you know, at that point in time, you know, the 8" per mile squared was hands down the curve formula that was universal, so to speak. And then as when the Nikons come out and we started wrecking the curve formula, then it's like, well, wait a minute, I can wreck the curve formula with my dash cam. You know what I mean? If you really pay attention to it, like you can use pretty much anything to break the curve formula. That's easy. And then so the curve formula has been destroyed. Well, then if there's no curve formula, then how are we justifying a globe Earth? And then it just goes on. And I've been asking for years. I'm like, well, what's the new curve formula? Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Yeah. I mean, so with so on that point, let's start breaking stuff down here. With the whole curve formula, there's ways to apply it correctly and ways to apply it incorrectly. It's not like a set measurement. And that, I mean, obviously, you know, right, because you've done this for a while, that the curve formula is a parabola, right? It's to get a linear drop from a tangential line, right? So and you know, that linear drop is all optical. But what we don't, you know, as you know, on the globe side, for me personally, we don't measure drop. We measure by degrees, right? So I'm sure you know how many miles there are per degree of curvature, right?
0.
So I mean, fair enough. So it's 60 nautical miles, or 69 miles per degree of curvature. I'm sorry, per degree, yeah, of curvature, yeah, of curvature. So so it you know, you understand out of 360 degrees what 1 degree of would be, right? And that's further than we can than what we state the horizon is at, right? What the optical horizon is at is about 3 miles, give or take, depending on the refractive conditions. So I I feel like using a tangential measurement to find drop in curvature. I find that just the wrong measurement. You know, like you wouldn't measure fluid ounces when you're weighing something, right? That's how I equate that. So, you have anything on that?
Um, you know what? Honestly, mathematics is a pretty big poison pill for the globe community, to be honest. Because this realm, you're talking the sun, the moon, the planets. None of them are physical objects, and so when you're streaming for measurements, you need. Well, the funny one, first you need to define an object to be able to be, have a definitive measurement that it has to be a physical object. They're not physical objects. The second problem is that um, very few Globers ever even think about it, but they claim that they can, measure speed and distances and sizes of all these planets and solar systems and whatever from, all these uh, what the observatories and whatever. While you're on a spinning object, you're measuring everything down to the specific mile of how fast this thing's going while you're on a moving object. That just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
But that's just me anyway.
Yeah, I mean, here's what I think, right? A cardiologist who spends his entire life, entire career, if you will, learning how the heart works, how arteries work, like how our human body is fueled. That doesn't make any sense to me, right?
Right.
So for someone who hasn't committed their entire career and or education to how you measure objects in space, I mean, it would make sense that you don't know how to, because I don't understand it. I just know that it's possible, because I personally believe that the sun, the planets, the stars are all physical objects. I mean, because I mean, you can see them. You can. We've flown things to them. We have probes out there. You know, we have the oh gosh, oh my god, the satellite that's been out there since 1997 that now takes like 45 minutes to get any response back from it, because that's how far away it is. And these radio waves, I mean, they travel at the speed of light. So like,
yeah,
so it's insane, right? I mean, but just because we don't understand how it works, it doesn't make it not real, right? Because like I can say I don't understand how our circulatory system works, but that doesn't make it not real, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
One sec here. Let me okay. So the thing with the planets, the thing is, in order to be able to justify that there are in fact planets, like we've been told, they're physical objects. We can, one day we're gonna travel to Mars and colonate, whatever.
Not in my lifetime, unfortunately.
But how can you justify there being physical planets and objects millions, billions, trillions, whatever miles away when it's not, when we can still prove that there's a firmament? So the firmament, you're not going to see anything past the firmament. Now the firmament it's basically like you could look at something, it's almost like looking into the ocean. Like you look down into a clear ocean and you kind of look at it and you go, if the water's crystal clear, it's like it looks like it might be 20 feet down, or maybe it could be like 100 feet down. There's a massive distortion with depth perception, and so they could say, well, this is a million miles away, but the depth perception through the firmament, because it's basically, it starts out as a thin layer of liquid oxygen and then it solidifies at the top. So you have to be able to debunk the firmament, the giant blue thing that we see in the sky every single day, to be able to justify that we can see anything past that, and also to justify anything being in space. And that begs the question, well, is space real? And I always go back to, there should be thousands and thousands of videos documenting rockets going up to the ISS, like uncut, start to finish, to the ISS, so we could all watch it. There's never been one. Why is that?
Well, I don't know. Probably because well, oh, what is that? What is that?
This is kind of like one of those, like what I was telling you, like this is just a like a regular ball.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of like something like the firmament, like it's got this stone inside of it. But if you look at it and you go, how far away is that stone?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And you go, oh, well, it's right there because it's inside the ball. But when you look at how that actually can trick your observation right there.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
with that logic, let's stick with the optical illusion logic. Let's apply that to the picture you took with your P900 of the plane's reflection or a contrail reflecting off the firmament. Was that proof that you had? So first off, would you be willing to say that could have been an optical illusion? Is that the shadow of the contrail was actually just on a thin layer of clouds below it?
It could be, but I knew the sun was local. But that's when I started questioning. Like everyone else wants the answers. How far away is it? How big is it?
Hmm.
And the only definitive answer that, after everything I've learned, is that it is just simply it charges the firmament, because you'll see the firmament light up blue every morning, and then before you even see the sun, the firmament is already lit blue, and then after the sun goes away, the firmament's still blue. It comes up, it charges the firmament, and it runs the sky clock. And on the AE map, there's 24 sections, means there's 24 hours in a day. And every square on the AE map is 1,000 miles across. So you just use square and compass, and you can measure everything just fine. And the sun just travels in its thing and does what it does. And now I'm in the thing with the azimuthal observation grid stuff, which is really trippy, which is how they're, you know, because all of a sudden everyone's focusing on what's going on with the sun because of the TFE thing, you know what I mean? So I think it's pretty cool to kind of watch, so many people all of a sudden fascinated with like the sun, and they're all arguing about it and everything, just like have at it, man. Just let it out.
Yeah, I mean, I love the curiosity that TFE has produced amongst a lot of people who had nothing to say about it at all. Like CC, right? His whole thing recently is, CC Chris, right?
No.
No.
Unless, does he go by a different name?
No. CC Chris from Westchester County, New York. He's look him up. He's CC Chris on YouTube. It's a great watch. But what Jelly, what his main thing is that you can't just go up to someone and start talking about the flat earth, because these people have no idea like what the globe earth claims, right? Like they have no idea how far away the sun is. They have no idea the radius of the earth. Like, and it's like all these things that like, but what TFE has done is brought attention to that kind of stuff, which I think is kind of cool, because science and astronomy is really cool. And I actually just started getting into it within the last year. So where I'm going, I sidetracked from a question that I had. I'm more of a, you might call this kind of a contradiction, because what I do require for me to believe in something is physical evidence. And I have yet to see any physical evidence of the firmament, because all the, like that picture that you mentioned, I know that you posted that on the official Flat Earth discussion group of the contrail on the firmament. That wasn't proof to me, because you can debunk that by saying it's a thin layer of clouds that is being reflected, that the shadow is on. Do you have any physical evidence of the firmament?
Oh my God.
Or is it all optical?
what do you want to call the big blue thing in the sky on the daily?
The atmosphere.
That's the firmament. I mean, if it's not just the chemtrails, that's just one example. I mean, probably one of the best ones that I've got is the from the Hawaii Observatory, watching the those things with the giant lasers
Yeah.
on the top of the Mauna Kea Observatory, Mauna Loa Observatory, and they're shooting the lasers up at the firmament, and the lasers are crisscrossing, they're just playing around and whatever, and then they all four of them dial in to a set point on the sky and lock onto the firmament, and all the lasers are pointed in at one single point, and they all start drifting. So they're tracking with the sky like this, and the lasers are moving. And if they were going past the firmament, they would continue to crisscross. Well, they don't. They come to a point. So that proves a barrier right there. I mean, people, and you know, like Fight the Flat Earth. I got in a chat with him. He wanted to debate me, and he actually told me point blank that he bounces like lasers off the moon. And I'm like, dude, if the Hawaii Observatory can't get their lasers past that barrier, then I think you're kind of full of it. Like, can't do
So
that.
I'm not I'm not too familiar with oh my god, where am I saying? I'm not too familiar with the Hawaii Observatory or the lasers. But are the, what so we know that an observatory isn't built to detect the firmament, right? We know that that's not what the actual use for it is. Do you know what the use for the Hawaii observatory was for, and what those lasers were actually doing?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Let's see. Oh, it's under. Can I share the video? It's just a really short one.
Absolutely, as long as it's not copywritten.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Oh,
is it the Mauna Kea Observatory?
Oh yeah, you got it.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
So,
you can do it.
all right. Let's see. Stupid YouTube, man. All right. Let's go. I don't know why people use YouTube, honestly. But here I am on. Here I am on YouTube. All right. Let's see. All right. This is being dumb. It's not letting me open it. All right. Watch on YouTube. All right, I'm gonna share it with you though, because I want to watch this together with you. All right, let me share my YouTubes. Where is this? Key share. All right, we're gonna share this with you. We're gonna bring this over here. Make it full screen. All right, let's take a look. A night in the life of an astronomer. All right, let's kind of skip through this. Oh my god, that's loud. Let me turn the volume off. It's just music. All right. All right. Is this the video you were talking about?
Yeah, you can just skip like halfway through.
All right. Cool. We got lasers. We got the lasers.
Show you.
All right. Let's see. Oh, this is cool. That's so nifty. I wonder. So, I wish that it like subtitled what they're doing. Let's see, because I would love to see why this is.
And so see the cameras they use, they can lock onto the sky, and those are the ones that you see where it looks like, oh, the Earth is turning. But see this one, it's not locked on the sky, so you can see free movement.
Yeah, you can definitely see how the stars are moving in a circular pattern, not elliptical. Cool. All right. So there's that. Man, there's not really.
Oh, it's towards the end.
Oh, it's sort.
You
Oh,
picked the long version.
Hold on. Let me. Come on. Is this it? Oh, cool. They're like locked onto that one star over there. That's super cool. All right. Let's see. What is it called? The Mauna Kea. Let's do Mauna Kea Observatory.
Just type in lasers.
Yeah.
There's a short one. I think it's only like 40 seconds.
All right, let's see. Let's just search for it on YouTube. 33 seconds. Here we go. Huh. Come on, give me the lasers. Why is it gotta be such a pain in the butt? All right, let's see. Up next. No. Oh, here we go. This is something. Lightning storm. That's cool looking. Not what we're looking for. Guys, if anybody has the link, feel free to put it in chat. Oh yeah, you can. Okay. Oh, you got it. Okay, here we go. All right, give me 1 second. Let me pull you back over. All right, let me stop my share. All right, go ahead.
Okay. Can I share?
Yeah. Go ahead and share. I think I allowed you.
Let's see. Okay. Yes, 32 seconds.
Oh, here we go. Okay, go ahead.
You see it?
No. Not yet. Try sharing it again.
Let's see. So I go. Okay, let's go right here. Oh, my liberty. You see it? Or wait.
No, not yet. Oh, here we go.
Okay.
All right, perfect. I see your screen.
Okay. So right here they're crossing.
Share your other screen. I don't think that we should be looking at this. I don't want to see this. Go ahead and share your other screen. I also use Coinbase, by the way.
Wait.
I have it. I have it hidden. So
okay, there we go. All right, gee, sorry about that.
Oh, that's all right. Okay. Yeah, share it. Yeah, move the video to your other screen, the one with Zoom on it. Because yeah, there we go. Perfect. All right, perfect. I got it.
Okay. So that's where they're crossing, and it's tracked right there.
Okay. Pause it. All right. So what's the, do you know what the distance of the object that they're shining that laser on is?
No, we're just observing that it's not, you're not seeing the lasers dissipate, you're just seeing them come to an end where they're hitting a barrier.
All right. Because what I see is that the lasers are pointed toward a single object in the sky. So unless that, you know, they're, I don't know how they would cross if they're pointing at one single object. If the lasers were like reflecting all over the place, then yeah, that would make sense, because, you know, the it's supposed to be, you know, super reflective, right? So that's what would convince me. But I mean, that was just a bunch of lasers pointing at one thing in the sky, right?
Right. So you look at that and you go, you know, if those lasers did cross instead of come to a T like that, then you would say, oh, okay, that's cool. But then obviously, I mean, how do you debunk that and say that that's not showing that there's a barrier? So
by getting, well, you can debunk that by finding the data that they were collecting with that observation.
So we go to Operation Paperclip, where they use the nuclear weapons to try to map out the firmament. Okay, well, why do they do that? to map out the firmament. And they say they were trying to blow a hole in it. No, they were mapping it so they could use it for, you know, in the future for satellites and stuff like that, whatever.
So,
but the fact is, but then we go to the fact that there's not one single uncut video of a rocket going past the firmament, like to the ISS, for example. We don't even have one video of that. So that's why, if there is a barrier and they know it, and Elon's having so much fun crashing his rockets into it for whatever reason, then that's just it. We have no proof to justify that there is not a firmament, but we have a mountain of evidence to prove that there is a barrier up there. And from everything we've researched, they called it the ozone layer back in the day, but it's actually comprised of liquid O2 and O3. So the higher up it gets, the harder it gets, basically.
all right. So where did, I apologize. I didn't realize that that the Operation Paperclip was to map out the firmament. Where did you find that information?
Or fishbowl, sorry.
Oh, fishbowl. Okay, so where they're testing nuclear weapons?
Yeah, fishbowl, sorry.
Yeah. So where, again, I apologize. Where in that paperwork did it say they're mapping out the firmament? Because I'm very familiar with Operation Fishbowl. And it was poorly named for the future of where humanity ending up logically. So what is it, just based on the name, or is it actually, you know, something written that, hey, we're trying to bust through this firmament?
Well, that's what the speculation was, and it's like, well, if they actually succeeded in that, then everyone would be dead.
I mean,
so I don't
yeah.
know. I don't think that was their intention, but that's how they kind of spun the story. But to be able to map out the firmament, and you know, there's a lot of people that speculate that there's actually satellites that orbit around the inside of the firmament, which makes them invisible. But you know, who knows? But
yeah, I mean,
map them out,
so the data that they actually got from that was pretty interesting, and so the whole idea of Operation Fishbowl was to test nuclear weapons. It was to test ballistics and stuff. Now, what I want to know is, if we were to have this weaponry, where would you want it to be tested? In the sky or on the ground where you live?
Well, the sky for sure, but they were manual explosions. They weren't like it had to go up and hit it and then explode. They would send it up a certain altitude and they would explode them before they got to the actual barrier part. They would push the button and explode them. And what would the explosion do? It would give them a full spectrum of what the hell that thing is. I mean, and then, you know, not too far down the road, we had, you know, satellite TV. Oh, we had to do that so we can get satellites in space, so we can sell you a satellite TV. An extra $30 a month times that by hundreds of millions of people. That's some good dough.
Well, that didn't age well, did it? So I mean, there's a lot of things I'm looking for explanations for here, so I apologize. So the firmament, how high? So okay, now let's see, how high is the firmament? How far would you have to shoot a rocket to actually hit the firmament, do you think?
Well, according to the 1958 Encyclopedia Britannica, it mapped the firmament at 73 miles. So this was the year before NASA was formed. This was 1958, and the encyclopedia mapped it at 73 miles in the center. So as far as we know, there was no measurements done around this side of it. We had the 73, and the interesting thing was, if you remember the amateur rocket launch they did that went up and hit something, and that capped out at 73 miles too. So we go off that, you know, and then the next year after NASA was invented, they took that portion out of the encyclopedia. So why would they do that? but 73 miles is what they're saying. But I speculated that the firmament actually is kind of, like the ocean's living, breathing. The firmament might expand or contract here and there. Same with the ice wall.
Yeah.
It can expand and contract. Who knows if that has something to do with the tides? Don't know. But there's no reason to say that it doesn't change size. Probably not a lot, but
All right.
yeah.
Let's see. Let's see. So is that so? What? Hold on. Is this the is that from Bird? Did Bird write that?
Where?
The 73 mile, the domes. A dome reference in 1958 encyclopedia entry describes a naturally occurring ice dome and not the firmament. So is that what you're referring to? Is that a geological structure, not the actual firmament? It was in a 1958 encyclopedia. It doesn't say Britannica.
Okay, can you see that?
I can see. Yeah, I can see the screen that the stream's on.
So here's the encyclopedia.
Hi. Hey, can you grab it?
Let's see.
You got a nice monitor there. Is that an ultra wide? It's gorgeous. What do you I see you play World of Warcraft. What's your tune? What do you play usually? Tank?
Oh no. Oh wait, are you okay?
There
You
you
see
go.
it now?
Yeah, I see it now.
It keeps tripping me out on which screen.
Sorry.
Oh, you're looking at, okay. Oh my gosh. All right, here we go.
All right. Encyclopedia Americana. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Hi, buddy. My son is sick, so I apologize. He's gonna make his debut here for a second. All right. Let's see what this says. I'm familiar with what it says, but all right, from McMurdo Station. Hold on, I have it over here too. Let's see, January 18th, 1958. Is that when they returned from New Zealand? Proved the inland areas to be featureless with a dome 13,000 feet high. At the latitude 80 degrees south. So 13,000 feet high. Is that? I'm assuming that's how many miles is that? 73 miles, I guess. I don't know.
It's on the. Oh, it was on the
1,000 feet.
Hold on.
Miles. All right, that's 2.5 miles.
It's 385,500 feet is what it says in the encyclopedia.
285. I don't see that in the thing. I see 13,000 feet high. Am I just missing something?
You see my screen or no?
Yeah, I see your screen. Yeah.
Okay, so in the encyclopedia, it's on the left on the screen. I don't know if you can see it. 385,000. Okay, so 73 miles. So anyway, so I thought maybe that 1958, maybe it might change. size or something, but why, why did this amateur rocket go up to the same distance and then it hit a barrier?
So here's what I see. Okay, so here this is what I see. I see numbers on the left, a video of a rocket on the middle, and then something that's completely unrelated to the right. Because I don't see anything about 385,500 feet in that image to the right. It's kind of blurry, so am I just missing it?
Oh, he hasn't gotten to that part. I think.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so 13,000 feet, which is a geological structure, not actually the height of a.
Okay, so the 13,000 feet is from 80 south.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like right, up close to the ice wall area, maybe past the ice wall, whatever. But that's what it was measured at. At the 80th south, that's where it starts curving down, like
Okay,
like
so where? Forgive me, I haven't looked into this specific thing. So if I'm gonna get this information from anyone, it's gonna be from you. Where so that's just 2.5 miles high is what you consider the dome to be, the actual firmament, not a geological feature, right? So where are we getting the 385,000 feet?
This is on towards the edge of it, but in the center, right here, right there. So 13,000 feet.
Oh,
right
I
there.
see. Okay. So that's 2.5 miles high. Okay.
And then right there, we get 385,000.
So how do you get that though? What's the is that just like an estimate, or is that number based off of how high this rocket went?
Here, can I just hit play and let him?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let him just do it.
Yeah.
Better.
For sure. I'm not getting any audio. Shoot. All right. I apologize, Tyler. I'm not getting any audio.
No audio.
No audio. So if you go down to the share, if you stop the share, and then you go to share again, there's a little thing on the right that says share sound as well. So if you click on the share sound when you go to share, you might have to unshare first. Hold on, I'm gonna put a show on for my son. He's sick. He's been sleeping since 3 o'clock this afternoon. So I just wanted to have him sleep, but now he's just walking around with nothing to do. So because Mama's playing. She's a paladin healer. She's a holy healer, by the way.
All right on.
Yeah. She's in a raid right now. So let's see. I was gonna get something goofy on for my son. He likes the Teletubbies. He's 2 years old. Let's put on some Teletubbies for this little dude. Actually, we're gonna put on some Katie's Classroom. Here we go. All right, cool.
Can you hear that now?
Go ahead and play it. Dang it, I still don't hear it.
Can you hear
Play it.
Can you hear
it? No, I can't hear it. How about if you throw me the link in the Zoom chat, and I'll just play it on my end.
Okay, let's just do.
Gotta love technology, my guy. Yeah, okay. Oh, Tyler, you got Facebook, YouTube too? All right, let me follow your YouTube. I didn't realize you had a YouTube channel. What was it, Tyler?
Yes.
Oh, CC Chris. Yeah, he's my guy. All right, let's see. I hope that's a flattering picture of you. I tried to find the best picture of you. All right, let's see. Oh my God. All right, Tyler. What was your channel name again? Tyler 432. 432.
Yeah.
All right, you got yourself a sub, my friend. All right, let's go into here. 73 miles to the dome. Let's go videos. You're gonna hear "Twinkle Twinkle Little Star" in the background for a little bit, and then some screaming from a child. All right, let's see. Gotta love having babies, yeah. Oh, here he is again. Hey, buddy. How far down is it? Am I just like he's 2. He was 2 in August.
Just type in 73 miles.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. All right, 73 miles.
I can't believe you wasn't getting audio.
Yeah, it sucks, dude. Zoom is like if it wasn't like I was also thinking of like moving over to Stream. What is it called? What do all the other debaters use? Like StreamYard or something? Let's see. 73 miles. Tyler. Come on. How am I having such a hard time finding this video?
I got the link here. Can I?
Yeah, yeah. If you want to send it to me in the Zoom chat.
Yeah, I haven't used Zoom for like 2 years.
Yeah, well, I mean, like this is the only reason I have Zoom, and then all my other. Oh, here I found it. All right, here we go. All right, let's get this over here. Actually, I'm gonna share this with you, so that we can look at it together. What do I do with it? Is right here. There. All right, let me know if you can hear it.
That were here on Earth before 1958.
Oh, perfect.
Before
All
the
right.
governments took them out, and I'm going to show you the Encyclopedia Britannica.
This guy. This is wait. Who is this? This is I know this guy's voice.
Before 1958, here's Volume 2 out of the alphabet A.
All right, let's take a look.
Flip to the Antarctica, and this is from 1958, as you can see. Now we're going to flip to the Antarctica and see what the Encyclopedia Britannica from 1958, before the Antarctic Treaty, says is there.
All right.
Now, you won't find this in the new encyclopedias because the government's banned them. But what I want you to notice right here is, notice how it says the flights proved inland areas to be featureless in character with a dome 13,000 feet high.
So I just want to make it clear that the dome is a geological structure, is what they were referring to. It's just a big hill that was 2.5 miles high. So I just want to make that clear.
At about latitude 80 degrees south, longitude 90 degrees east. Take a really, really close look at that. Now I'm going to zoom it in for you. When they returned to New Zealand, these flights proved the inland areas to be featureless in character with a dome 13,000 feet high at about latitude 80 degrees south, longitude 90 degrees east.
So he keeps saying that the dome. He's insinuating that the dome is the firmament, right? Is that what I'm getting here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Real quick, have you done any research on what sky ice is? Have you gone down that rabbit hole at all?
I can't tell you that I have, but I've definitely heard the term. Discover the enigmatic phenomenon of sky ice in Antarctica. Sky ice is no ordinary ice. It is said to defy the laws of nature by not melting, but rather vanishing. Ooh, all right. Sky stone, and then there's sky stone, which is just blue rock. All right, I can dig into that a little bit, but let's continue this video.
Now, if this doesn't make sense to you, Let me show you with an image of what a flat Earth map would look like. Now, this is what a latitude 80 degrees south would look like on a flat Earth map. As you can see, the dome comes down closer to you over the wall, which will be about 13,000 feet. Now, if you go back out into the center of the Earth, or up the North Pole, and try to go up to the firmament with a little bit of calculation, it's going to show that it's about 385,500 feet away. It's really, really simple, folks. Now, if you're not...
So does he go over, I guess I can just wait and find out, but does he go over the math? He said it's a simple calculation, but does he go over the calculation at all?
He doesn't break it down, no.
All right, well, that's a shame, I guess.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're looking for
Yeah.
the measurements.
Yeah, I mean, because I mean, he's saying that, you know, with simple calculations, you can see that you can find out that the at the highest point is 73 miles high. Now,
Right.
with this rocket, where was this rocket launched from? Was it launched from the North Pole, where it would be the highest?
No, it was launched from New Mexico, I believe.
All right, so it would be like somewhere around here, where it would be less than 73 miles, right?
Yeah, but that's where the rocket hit the barrier. It was at 73. So I know that's not dead center, but they both recorded 73 miles.
All right.
So,
All right. Yeah. So what I guess my point here is this wouldn't be enough to convince me of anything, right? I mean, this is just someone saying that it's 73 miles high with no actual evidence, and then using a geological structure and then misinterpreting that as the height of the sky, if you will. So I mean, and we know, we just saw that, you know, the final experiment completely debunked the fact that there is a dome, at least where they were, as far south as they were, right? Because I mean but we can touch on that later. Hey, buddy.
Sure. So anyway, I just want to touch on the thing with the sky ice and the bluestone.
Yeah.
That whole thing. So when you want to say you want to try to put it in the category of the dome being, you know, a structure of some sort. Well, the thing is, sky ice, its freezing point is somewhere like negative 220 Fahrenheit for to fully freeze. That's when that's why they call it the sky ice. It's basically a glass structure. But the point is that they've never been able to fully research it, because when you take that sky ice from Antarctica and you try to bring it over to, you know, the United States or anywhere to bring it into a lab, if that goes below 220 minus 220 degrees Fahrenheit, it vaporizes. So it's solid, but it has the ability that once it gets below minus 200 or above minus 220 degrees Fahrenheit, then it literally just evaporates and is gone. It just like vaporizes. It goes back into oxygen form. So it's a structure, but it's not a permanent structure. See what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, that's terrifying if you think about it, because with the general consensus, right, the firmament separates the waters above from the waters below. Is that a stance that you take? I don't want to you know, straw man you at all.
As opposed to below.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
So if we can, I mean, if the sky ice is falling off of if we can extract some of the sky ice to see it temporarily before it, you know, because I can imagine, I mean, it's nowhere on Earth is it negative 220 degrees Celsius or Fahrenheit, right? So I guess what I'm looking for is I mean, I haven't looked into it at all, and I'm gonna have to, because, you know, I'm not expecting you to give me all the answers right this second. But how did we substantiate that it exists if we could never actually touch it, see it, study it?
All it would take, like Eddie Bravo said, put a GoPro on the front of a rocket, uncut, document the whole thing, start to finish, going through the firmament, which is the ozone layer, which they can also call the Venn radiation belt, whatever. It's got all kinds of names. one uncut video documenting a rocket going through it and going to the ISS, whatever, would shut this whole theory up. But there's not one. There should be thousands of them. There's not one. Even with satellites, there's not one video of a satellite being deployed in space. There's not one. There should be thousands of those too. So it begs the question, there's no evidence to counter the fact that when we presume or theorize that there is a barrier, we say, okay, that's a cool theory, right? Conspiracy theory, whatever. But nothing has ever, with all the technology we have, nothing has documented going past it. Nothing. We don't have one video proving it.
So
if you think you do, it'll go real video with a bunch of cutscenes, and then all of a sudden, when it gets out of view, then everything turns into CGI, and then the show continues.
yeah.
That's what they do every time.
So I have a few points on that, right? Now, if you're the one who created this satellite, this sending something into orbit, and you understand the math, you understand the science behind it, and you're seeing the data in real time of the altitude, the speed, all these kind of things, and where it is exactly, pinpoint exactly where it is in the sky. So where I'm getting at is, isn't that enough data and evidence for the people who put it there to consider it in space? Or do you think that these scientists who did all this math and science, they need the visual evidence for it? Or is that just something that you would need?
It depends. They mess with numbers all the time. I mean, either they make up numbers. Look at the speed of light versus the northern coordinates of the Great Pyramids. They're the same exact numbers. So they didn't measure the speed of light. They just took the coordinates of the pyramids and said this is the speed of light. That's what it is. Yep.
So the coordinates are man-made. You know that, right? The coordinates are it's like time. Time is a construct. Coordinates are a construct.
Yeah.
So the fact, as far as I know, this was brought up to me by somebody else I interviewed. It's not actually on the dot, right? It's the coordinates aren't on the dot, the speed of light. However, it is pretty close. Is that something? Are you into coincidences at all, or do you believe that everything has like a set? Like if it happens for this reason.
All I do is when I mean, I'm a sucker for solving puzzles, and so when I want to solve something, I mean, I'll latch on to something that's pretty cool, like that maybe that is what it is, but I will search and I will find all the evidence I can to prove that it's not some kind of a aha moment type thing, and so I'll look at it from all different variables. And like we've all been saying, one uncut video of a rocket going somewhere would be an absolute nuclear bomb to the flat Earth community.
Yeah.
But we're just going to keep going how we're going because it's almost 2025 and we still don't have any of that evidence.
Why do you think that they would spend the money to do that though? Because I mean that's a lot of money. Because they'd have to have multiple cameras. They'd have to have that feed coming through, and environmentally. It'd be very difficult. It'd be a lot of extra money to make sure those cameras don't get damaged, right? Especially when it's just like Elon sending a geological or geostationary satellite into orbit for SpaceX. Why add that extra stuff just to prove to a small group of people that it's actually happening when all the data is there, right? The data is there. You get all. I mean, you can say they fudged the numbers, but then that would require you to prove that they're fudging the numbers, right? So it's at what point is it just unnecessary for them to ask, or for you to ask of them? We're not going to believe this, and what do they owe it to you, right? What does Elon Musk, for example, owe to you to prove that he's actually sending satellites into orbit?
Nothing about Elon. Just a story. So back around 2000, I worked as a senior executive in telecom, and I got a pretty juicy contract lined up. It was a big contract, and it was for a company that was based here in Salt Lake City, and they built airplanes. And they wanted to sign, I think it was like $1.4 million contract to have a runway built. Well, they had already built the runway down in the middle of the Arizona desert.
Yeah.
Okay. This was all based on the notion that they could get high-speed internet down there because there is nothing around where this runway was.
Right.
So we worked on this contract, you know, calling all these satellite companies and whatever. For 2 months, me and the engineers made phone calls to all these companies, and you would call, it would just ring. The number was disconnected, or you'd leave a voicemail, you never got a call back. And we're just like, this is really weird. We got these people down here, they just spent $1 million on a runway, and they need high-speed fiber or internet so they can transfer their blueprints from Salt Lake City to the Arizona desert, you know, giant files. So they can continue their operation. And eventually the engineers came back to me and says, hey man, we're not gonna be able to do the contract. And I says, why is that? And they says, there's no satellites up there. I'm like, what are you talking about? There's no satellites up there. Every company we've called, nobody's calling us back. Everything says or whatever. And there's nothing. And he's like, I've called all my telecom guys and they're all saying the same thing. There is no satellites up there. So this is around 2000, right? Well, this company ended up folding and built the airplanes because they couldn't get the high-speed internet down there. So I went to my engineer. I said, why would they lie about satellites? And, you know, and he says, well, for one, they're ripping us off on TV. And he says, two, the weird thing is being an engineer, he says, you know what? I've heard all these stories about engineers that design and build these satellites and whatever, you know, spend everything they've learned their entire career to build a satellite, and there's no documentation of the build. Like, but whatever car you drive, you could look it up, start to finish. You could find how your car is built, start to finish, and then rolls out the door. Okay. But every one of these satellites that are built, you would think that there would be documentation of the build so that the guy that designed it, or maybe his team, could document their lifelong achievement. They made a fucking satellite and it's up there flying around. Like, you would want to pass that down through your family heritage, right? Like, document the whole thing, the build, the launch, the deployment. It's never been done once. Why is that?
You know what? I don't know how to answer that, because I mean that's all. I mean that's all speculation, right? That's all. There's no actual, like.
Those are facts. Those are straight facts. And so when we zone in on the facts, a lot of times they're painfully hard to come to realization with, but those are facts. It would be, for NASA to shut up the flat Earth community, it would be so easy. But they like to keep us fighting with each other, keep the drama going, all the excitement. You know, you got kids in the groups, the flat Earth groups. You know, they're like the class clown, and you know, in school. It's like, did you come here to learn, or you just want to like ha ha and just laugh at everybody and everything's stupid and not learn anything? You know, there's a difference between, do you want to learn, or do you want to just parrot the stuff that we all learned in grade school?
So
that's all bullshit too.
So with the satellite thing, that was, so do you know how many GPS satellites there were in space in the year 2000?
No.
Not that many. Let's see, how many satellites?
GPS is all ground based though. I mean, that's there's no way around that one. It's all ground based. There's no need, even if we had satellites and whatever, there would be no need for them. In fact, it would be a hacker's dream come true if there were satellites, because at this point, if they were real, then you're dealing with technology that's like 30, 25, 30 years old. And you tell me they're not hackable at this point. Oh my gosh.
Interesting. Okay, so can you substantiate that? And that GPS is all ground based.
Because every cell phone, this is why it kind of ramped up, like the coverage started expanding, more and more.
Yeah.
Obviously they're building more cell towers and whatever, but everybody's cell phone, everybody's Wi-Fi router, your car, your truck,
Mm-hmm.
every diesel, every airplane, every boat, anything that moves that has any kind of digital interaction, any kind of tracking, whatever, are both receivers and transmitters. So it's like when I go camping down in Moab, there's a giant radio tower over in Green River, probably like 70 miles away. And if I go, there's a cliff right here. And if I go right here, I'll get a full signal on my cell phone. If I come back like this, like 10 feet, and that cliff hides that tower, then all of a sudden I have no cell phone signal because it's all coming off that tower.
Right. So what about, let's use Antarctica real quick. How do they get GPS coordinates in Antarctica?
Well, they'd use buoys and anything like they have all the relay, like most of them, they have them at the docks, like the boating docks, where they combine all of the information from all the ships and whatever. But usually these things on the shores have easily a good 200-300 mile range. So any traffic in that whole range, they can piece everything together and know the coordinates, just bouncing everything off of everything else. And that's how you can triangulate and pinpoint. Once you get that whole network kind of gridded down, you can pinpoint anything down to an inch, at that point.
So how about the South Pole? How do they get GPS of the South Pole? Because that's not near any, and that's inland about 1,500 miles on either end.
I don't subscribe to a South Pole.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
They took away the North Pole and stuck it at the South Pole, basically. Because when you look at Google Earth, there's nothing at the North Pole, which we know there's a lot at the North Pole.
Yeah, there's actually quite a bit at the South Pole.
That's where the name BlackRock came from. So.
All right. Well, I mean, for a sphere, we know you have a you have a pole at each end, right, with the rotational axis. But
the gold model we do, yes.
Yeah. So it would okay. All right. I'm just trying to make sense of this whole of the buoy system. So how are the okay? So what you're so I'm just trying to logically figure out how they would have GPS like a buoy every 200 miles, you would say, all across the Pacific, the Atlantic, all over every ocean. Because I mean they would have to because that's how ships navigate, right? Not so much submarines, but ships navigate by satellite GPS, right? So what you're saying is that every 200 miles, square miles, if you will, there's a buoy giving off a GPS signal.
It all combines itself. You might have the buoys, you might have a ship in between, you might have this and that. And see, I don't know. I've never found any solid evidence that they have the satellites that are attached to the firmament. There's been a lot of rumor. I mean, even Cat Williams talked about that. He went on a big spill. I don't know if you heard that, but he went on a big spill about it. And I'm like,
yeah, that whole thing was debunked. But I mean, obviously, all this has been debunked too. But I'll let you continue.
No, so I don't know that part of it, but I do know that first of all, like I said, if there was satellites up there, you would definitely think it would be absolutely preposterous to not fully document that from start to finish. And plus,
they did
at the time. You would think like, well, if this breaks, aren't I going to need to have backup spare parts? In case like the solar panel breaks, or what I mean. You'd want to have a collection of spare parts. As far as I know, they don't have. There's no proof that they have even spare parts for backup. So,
all right,
take it for what you want. But I know when they tell you, oh, we're upgrading from rabbit ears to satellite TV, and like you said, they made a killing on that. because they're coming from the satellite, so it sounds more higher technology, and so we're willing to pay more money for it when it's really a ripoff.
All right.
Sorry.
All right. So I'm just getting questions from people. I'm gonna be doing like a Q&A in about 50 minutes. Are you down for like another 50 minutes of conversation? Because I'm loving this. This is a lot of fun. I'm learning a lot.
Sure.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and let me just tell you, I mean, I don't know what's going on in a group chat, but I'll tell you guys, if you want to come into this stuff, I mean, flat earthers, I know a lot of them, well, I wouldn't say a lot of them, some of them are definitely really weird, but if you get one that knows a lot about a lot of stuff and you're really nice to them, like you'll get the crash course without having to, spend all the time to, sort you just talk to a flat earther and be nice to them. You'll get all the answers you want.
Yeah.
I promise.
Yeah, and so, I like to consider, because I like to consider my space a safe space, Tyler. And yeah, I might like rag on like CC and Flatzoid and all that kind of stuff. But but they kind of, I mean, come on, they're dicks. You're not a dick, Tyler. I'm enjoying this conversation. Because if you're gonna be a jerk to people, then that's what you're gonna get back. So that's how I substantiate my that's how I justify my reaction to what they post.
Be nice.
But be nice, right? We're all human, right? We're all here, sharing the same time, we're sharing the same earth, we're sharing everything together, and this is like the cool class, you know what I'm saying? Like how you go into like a training course and like there's all these cool kids and like, hey, we're the cool class, you know what I'm saying? Because we're all here, we're all doing the same thing, we're all just trying to get by. So I appreciate that. So if you don't mind, I would love to get into the topic of the final experiment. What are your takes on the results of the final experiment? Actually, you know what? I apologize. Let's go back. I shouldn't jump right to the results. Let's talk about your feelings on the whole thing, like on from the beginning. What were your feelings on the final experiment, and when did you find out about it first?
I think when everybody else did. Yeah. What was that, like?
Back in like March or something?
Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah. I actually, my first gut was like, no way, they're not going to do this. Like, I don't know. It's just, it's like NASA says, oh, we're going to the moon next month. Just kidding, it'll be delayed till next. I'm just like, yeah, that's the Artemis missions. Like, come on, and they're not even going to land on the moon. They're just going to be orbiting it, and then collecting data, and then the next mission is going to be landing on the moon. So it's like, come on, give it to us. But anyway, all right. So, what are your thoughts on Will Duffy? I don't know. I mean, he had I don't know. The only weird part was he said that like this is, I thought about it and I thought about it, and like, I'm like, this has got to be like the final experiment to solve it once and for all. Yeah. And so it come across as his idea, and then find out that Tune In by the Flat Earth and Dave was talking about it, and what was it? Hold on, I got it right here. July? Yeah, July of 2023. We're going to Antarctica. Let's settle this once and for all. So I kind of thought that's weird, because it come across as like, it sounded like that Duffy had thought that through and that it was his idea. So then we saw this, and then it's like, that's a little weird. But other than that, I don't know. I hope they had fun.
So yeah, it looked like fun, but yeah. So on that note, I mean, obviously it wasn't Will Duffy's idea that to go to the Antarctica to like. He was inspired by Bob Odell, and he attended a debate that Bob Odell was in, stating, if we can go to Antarctica, prove the 24-hour sun, then that destroys the flat Earth. I'm paraphrasing what Bob Odell said. And then
Or is it Dean Odle?
Dean Odle. Dean Odle. My bad. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I mix up all the names.
Okay.
Dean Odle. Yeah. And then come to find out he was actually offered a trip to Antarctica, but he declined. So that was his inspiration, and then then he did his research and he saw, wow, all these flat earthers like Flat Earth Dave, Austin Whitsitt, Jeranism. I always forget his name for some reason. He's the one who did the 200 proofs. Dubé, yeah, Eric Dubé. Like these are the people who said a 24-hour sun in Antarctica would destroy the flat Earth. It just wouldn't work. Yeah, it was Greg Locke versus Dean Odle. That's right. Thank you, Thurston. So that's where he got his inspiration was from, like if he's going to be able to do anything, because like he obviously had this influx of money that he was like, let's do something really cool. Let's try and do something about this and have everyone else who is involved in, putting all this effort into the flat earth, have them put that same kind of effort into something that would do good for humanity, right? Depending on, that's subjective, right? Obviously.
Right.
So that was his plan. And then, to gain notoriety and popularity, he's going to be really mysterious about it. Like, oh, who's behind this? Like, oh, these teaser trailers of this final experiment. That sounds really cool. Which got, people talking. And then he sent out these emails to 12 well-known flat earthers and 12 well-known globe earth flat earth debunkers, if you will. And Craig and MC2, they were on that list of people who got the email. They all got it at the same time. So that whole story, that was, and Craig in his, did you see the video? I think Robot Polisher put a clip of it of FTFE like winking at the camera when he was like called out on like knowing who was behind it. He's like, oh, I don't know who's behind it. And he winks at the camera. Like, that's just, he really knows how to shoot himself in the fucking foot, doesn't he?
Yeah.
But like, that could be taken as, that's just FTFE's sense of humor, but whatever. Whatever. But I guess that answers that. Did you follow where they were at all during all last week? Like, were you like following the GPS coordinates and all that? It was very interesting.
No, I didn't. No, I don't know. I didn't really follow it close enough. I just kind of let it do its thing. I thought they were taking like a cruise ship all at the same time. And I wasn't following it close enough, but I thought they were all going on like some kind of a cruise and whatever. And I thought, oh boy, that sounds like a lot of fun. But I didn't know they were going separate and whatever. I wasn't following it that close.
Yeah, they flew in. They flew in from Punta Arenas, Chile, and they're all still there. It looks like. Interesting. I thought they were whatever. So yeah, they're pretty far inland at this camp that they're in, and I guess all the experiments took place a couple miles away from the camp, more in a plain area, so that they could record the sun without any obstruction from the mountains and stuff like that, and geological features. Yes. What would you like? He wants to say hi. Say hi. Say hi, Tyler. Is that an Oreo? What is this? What is this chocolate on your face? Oh my god, what a goober. Okay, all right. Say bye. All right. Go play with the kitty. Go play with the kitty. Kitty cat. Sorry, he's supposed to be in bed, but whatever. So the results, right? The results came up with a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, they did their thing. I'm disappointed that they didn't have any of the video with timestamps. That's just kind of when we were setting up to do the Alaska 24-hour sun back in 2018. This is when Flat Earth was, just barely getting over. We just had the YouTube crash, all the Flat Earth channel just got deleted and whatever. and that was when the war was really intense. And so we're like, yeah, we're gonna go do 24-hour sun in Alaska. And my God, the whole globe community just completely went apart, came apart, and just like, if you don't get timestamps on that, then it doesn't. We don't care if you went there, and doesn't matter how much footage you've got. If you don't have timestamps, then it's not valid evidence of anything. And so we were held to it. And but the fact that there wasn't any timestamps on the footage, I don't know. If you're doing something that big, you definitely want to have timestamps turned on. So because it just raises other questions, and there's a lot of paranoid flat earthers that'll just oh my gosh, CGI green screen, this, like to start going off the rails. But that's when the protocol, so to speak, is not followed. That's when all this conspiracy theories start flying around, and that thing. So
I gotta say that's fair enough. Asking for the timestamps and whatnot, because I mean, if that was because the whole thing with the credibility of your debate opponents is, this is my standard of evidence, but I'm going to give you evidence that doesn't reach my standard of evidence that I would need from you. That's just ridiculous, right? So I can see where you're coming from with the whole, the globe community, their standard of evidence requires these timestamps. And yeah, I get it for the for Dave McKeegan's video that first came out, no timestamps, and I get that. However, but they did live stream basically the entire trip, which would timestamp it, right?
Yeah. Well, okay. And see, and I'm just maybe I'm just being kind of but just coming from me being a photographer I have for a really long time, and I take it, I mean, if I'm gonna just take a picture of something, just silly, or a deer in my backyard, no big deal. But you're doing something important like that. Like I've done laser tests and stuff down at the Bonneville Salt Flats and whatever. You always make sure your timestamps are on, because what I was looking forward to is like, okay, they're down there. What I was looking forward to was hopefully them getting footage of the moon down there, which I haven't seen yet, because I could take the timestamp if they've got the moon down there, and then I could show where the moon was visible around the entire rest of the world. And I could probably line a bunch of those up, but I need timestamps to do that, because we did a simultaneous shot of the moon from here in Utah. I called, or I messaged my friend in Australia, and I says, hey, can you see the moon? So I'm in Utah, she's in Australia. She's like, yeah, I can see the moon. And I'm like, well, okay, that's cool. And then I messaged in my group, I'm like, hey, anyone else can see the moon up there, whatever. And then I get my friend in Sweden, Andrew, and he pops in, and he's like, yeah, I can see the moon. And then so we got the three of us. I'm like, holy shit, we didn't plan on this happening. So we didn't like document the whole thing. And then while this is going, I'm putting the three of us together, and then all of a sudden my other friend Jason down in South Africa, he pops in, and he shows us a picture of the moon. So we got USA, Sweden, Australia, and South Africa all seeing the moon at the same time. And so I was like, dude, this would be so cool if I could put like all these other countries, and the moon shot in Antarctica would be so cool. But I don't have any time. So that's kind of why I just got a little triggered on that. But
Yeah, that's cool, right? And then if you all took pictures of the moon, you'd be able to see like the different orientation based on where you are at the northern and southern hemisphere.
and see, and that experiment right there, that is impossible on a globe Earth. It's impossible, because one person's going to have to be looking through the globe to be able to see the moon, because we had all four corners of Earth covered right there.
Yeah.
And we all saw the moon at the same time. It doesn't work on it. It's impossible on a globe.
No. It's okay. Well, can you give me 1 second? I'm just gonna try and put it in the bed real quick. I'll be right back. Tyler, I'm so sorry. Give me 1 second.
Hey, you're fine.
All right.
charts and cameras to prove what they say. But the sun didn't set and the planet didn't end. Now they're scratching their heads and calling it pretend. The world kept spinning as the light stayed on. Flat earthers tried to cheer, but the proof was gone. Antarctica showed them what they didn't want to see. A globe's victory, reality's decree. Flat earth tears on frozen ground. Globers dancing all around. Their theories crumbled under the sun's bright truth. Science won the game and crushed the untrue. Up their disbelief, hidden in a case. Still cried conspiracy to save some faith. No urge defined, no greater miss. Just around Earth with a daylight kiss. The skeptics lost in a luminous parade. Under a sky that never betrayed. Flat earthers side holding maps and lies. Globers laughed beneath an Arctic sky. Yes, the earth's a globe spinning every day. A fact that even night cannot sway. They came to prove the world was flat, but the endless sun was having none of that.
Bring that up as soon as he comes back.
Yeah.
Say, Luner is anyone held to a standard for the last how many years? And I'm gonna hold Globers to the same fact.
Yeah.
Do it. You have to say it.
Sure.
Tony thinks the earth is flat, no spheres inside. NASA's got their cash, but he's got his light. Quoting old scriptures from the age of knives, mixing science and faith like he's making a fight. Says he's ahead way past our globe's road end.
You expect the same standard.
Yeah.
American dream.
All right, thank you so much, Tyler. I apologize for that.
No worries, I got a refill.
All right. Oh, speaking of refill, I took one shot. This is the Drunk Debunk show. Come on. All right. So I don't usually drink on my interviews. Just just when I review and stuff. All right, cool. So so we talked about the final experiment a little bit. So yeah, so I apologize. What was your thought on the 24-hour sun? Yeah. Oh, hold on. Oh shit, hold on. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I'm just gonna leave it as it is for now.
Yeah.
There's some discrepancies. I'm not gonna say that. Yeah, it's too early to jump to anything, but yeah, there's a couple of things up in the air. We'll just put it that way. But yeah. But the timestamps would have helped, and it's like I said, it's like, you know, the Globers held us to it. You know, put our feet
right.
fire. You know, even when I do simultaneous moonshots, if I don't have a timestamp and my friend in Australia doesn't have a timestamp, it doesn't count. You know what I mean?
Right. Because you need to know like the geological location. You need to know the metadata basically.
Yeah. Other than that. Yeah, other than that, I'm just leaving it as it is. So,
all right. I mean, fair enough.
Yeah.
Because I mean, so I mean, the way obviously the way that the globe people, the Globers, if you will, see it is that it completely destroys the flat Earth, like the azimuthal equidistant map, the Gleason map. It just destroys all of that. So I guess I was hoping to get a little bit of insight as like, do you subscribe to any one map, or is it just like, well, there could be many maps?
The AE map works just fine. Very few people, I don't know if it's just lazy or a phobia with the AE map. This is even flat earthers included. They don't want to spend the time to learn how to measure the fucking map. They would rather just sit and say we don't have a map than instead of learn how to measure the map. And then once you figure out how to measure it, then you can just say, okay, well now I know how to measure it. Now it actually does work. They don't want to do that.
So what about measuring lines of longitude? Would that be considered measuring the map? So one of MC Toon's experiments was, now that he was going into the southern hemisphere, he was at each of his stops, like at Punta Arenas and Antarctica, he measured the we don't have the data from that yet. So what he was doing was he was measuring the distance between longitude, which on a globe Earth they'd have to get smaller as you go towards the South Pole, right? The geological South Pole. But on a flat Earth, they'd have to actually get wider apart. So so that was, what are your thoughts on that experiment? Would that be considered measuring the equidistant azimuthal equidistant map?
Well, I'm sure. Are you talking about like the average person? They look at the AE map and they just go, "Oh my god, why does this look so stupid? Like USA is the same size as Australia."
Yeah, that's
on the map, or no, Australia is 3 times bigger than the USA on the map. Sorry.
Well, it's also wider than it is tall, 3 times taller, or wider than it is tall. Yeah.
Right, and so you look at the map, and Australia is 2.5 times bigger than the United States. Oh my God, this map is bullshit. Mm-hmm. Sorry, can I swear on this?
My Jesus fucking Christ! Yes, you can. Okay. I've been holding it back because I want to respect you. So go ahead.
So anyway, once this is all you have to do, and we were taught this in grade school. All you got to do, go to the dollar store, buy a square and compass. You stick the square at the pokey thing at the North Pole, and you just turn it and you turn it and you measure. Measure the United States. How many squares does it go across? It goes across 1, 2.5 squares. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that tells you how many miles it is across. That's roughly 2,500. Each square is 1,000 miles. So you take the square and compass and you pull it out to Australia and you go, let's measure this one. 1, 2.5. Oh, so it is the same size. That's what trips people up. And it's like, that's all you gotta do, and you can do it with the whole rest of it. Everything works just fine. You can measure just fine. You need a square and compass, and Globers still think that they measure stuff with rulers on that map. It doesn't work. Sorry.
Okay. So, all right. Let's see. I don't know how to answer that because I mean, objectively, you can look at the AE map and say, okay, everything south of the equator is getting wider and wider and wider, right? I mean, you can take, but in reality, that's not the actual, like, so let's take the lines of longitude into account here. Now with the lines of longitude, they get further and further apart the more south you go on the AE map. So if you're like, okay, it's 2.5 squares up here in the northern hemisphere, but wait a second, the same latitude in the southern hemisphere, it's 2.5 squares doesn't match, right? It's a little bit longer than that. It's like 3 squares or whatever. So that would that measurement right there would debunk the globe, right? Because if that was a real world measurement between the lines of longitude, then wouldn't that be something that would help you out? And then having MC Tune actually go down and measure the distance between lines of longitude. That would be. That's what a great idea for him to do that. And do you know how he was doing that?
No, I don't follow it. But see, I'll just call it a mind fuck. Okay,
It's
just
all
to
a
put
mind
it simple.
That's for sure.
And we go back to when we were kids. Okay, we all had a bicycle, right? Okay, so when you tell somebody that the inner spoke of the wheel, so let's just think of it as an AE map. We got the sun and the moon rotating around, whatever. And you say the sun right around the North Pole. Let's just say 80-degree north. Okay, the sun just makes these, as you look at it, and you would think it makes these little tiny circles. Oh, it doesn't have to travel very far, does it? Oh, but it comes way out here, and it's in turbo mode. It's got to do this.
Right.
And when you say to somebody that little circle in the center is the same size as the big one on the outside, and they look at you like you're batshit crazy, whatever. Well, either way, that bike wheel, if it does a 360-degree rotation, everything travels the exact same distance as they're supposed to. Because it all works in one. The ones on the outside seem to travel farther, but why is that one supposedly traveling farther than the one on the inside? Does it's all attached to the same construct? Does that make sense?
It does. But rotational speed is measured in RPMs, right?
Right. But see, so when you're saying on the outside those squares look bigger,
Oh, I
so
see.
you think, oh, it's gotta move faster. No, it's that square is still 1,000 miles, just like the one up in Canada that's a lot smaller. It looks smaller, but it measures the same size. So that's where it comes into the people talk about the toroidal fields and all that, because that's when it's all based on magnetics. And that's why Earth, I want to call it a realm. I don't want to call it flatter anymore. I want it's a realm. It's got all kinds of cool shit.
Well,
yes, it does.
If you define stuff you can't explain as cool, then yes, absolutely. It's got so I don't understand what speed has to do with. What speed has to do with distance. Let's say for the sun to rotate around the oh my god, Capricorn. What is it called? The Capricorn and Cancer. The oh my god, guys, help me out.
What?
How there's the equator, and then there's the two circles around the Earth that the sun travels in, according to the AE map. Not constellations. Was it? No, not the poles. The with the solstice, when like the summer, the tropic of Cancer and the tropic of Capricorn. There we go.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So one is going. So one requires the other. Well, one requires the sun to travel, or whatever the sun is, right? If it's physical or not, something is requiring this light in the sky to travel much faster, to cover a much larger distance at the more southern tropic than it is the northern tropic. And that's objective. Like you can't deny that. So so without knowing exactly what the sun is, would you be able to say what is causing the sun to move at the exact right speed so every day is the exact same amount of time? Like 24 hours, 59 minutes, and 24 seconds long?
Yeah, well, like a grandfather clock or your clock, it requires an energy source.
Mm-hmm.
So, a lot of people like to say that that's God,
You can talk about God here. I talk about God.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I'm not religious, but with everything I know, once you really get into this stuff, um, it screams that this entire realm was designed by the most intelligent thing that any of us could even possibly comprehend.
Yeah.
And I mean, we talk about the evolution and Big Bang, which interestingly, it is a requirement for the globe model to actually even, that's how it was born into existence, right? Big Bang and evolution. If neither of those took place, in fact, if you could prove that the Big Bang and evolution never happened, then how could they have completely told the story of Earth being a globe? You have to have those two events and proof of those two events to justify the globe model. And the kicker is both of those events are debunked by the silliest thing you would ever think of.
What?
Turtle shells.
Turtle shells. All right. You know what? I'm interested in hearing that, but that's a whole nother conversation for another day.
Well, the turtle shell. So we're talking about time, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So on every turtle shell has the lunar calendar on their backs. So how did a turtle go from an explosion and evolve into something that's got the truest calendar that we've ever known on their turtle shell? So they like skipped the Big Bang, skipped evolution, and showed up with the lunar calendar on their backs.
Hold up. This is the first time hearing about this. All right, let's see.
Oh, is it?
Oh, absolutely. Lunar calendar on turtle shell 2024 new top awesome list of whatever. Lunar calendar, the seasonal round of ceremonies was integral to Cherokee society. The calendar shows the moon phases of the year. All right. There's a bunch of turtle shells that all look very different. Times are shown in daylight savings time when necessary. This is okay. This seems to be a rabbit hole that I'm going to have to dig into.
Yeah.
That was all right. Well, all right. Well, so back to the question at hand. So what? I just don't know anything about the lunar calendar with the turtle shells. I apologize. I wish I could talk on that, but I just have nothing on it.
Did you know the lunar was the original calendar? 13 months and 28 days is 364 days a year. That was our original calendar, and then they went and leap year, and some days have extra days, and switched it all around.
So hold up. Have you ever done the math on that? On how many days the 13th month would actually have?
28 days times 13 is 364.
Oh my God.
Yeah, 13 moons per year.
Huh.
So it's like the sun every 30 days, but it's actually, the real calendar was based off of the moon cycles. So how did the turtle all of a sudden show up with the lunar calendar on their backs if they went through a random explosion where everything was created from nothing?
So I gotta hold up back here, because I mean you can take let's take this bag of M&Ms, right? And let's go ahead and open it. These are peanut M&Ms. Well, I mean, not peanut, they're peanut butter M&Ms, which are superior. Okay. Now if I line them all up, right? And I say, okay, here's I have 3 blue up here, okay, one red over here, and two yellow over here, okay. Now because of the way that I opened up this bag, the arrangement of these M&Ms could be attributed to anything that's 3, 1, and 2, right? So I could say, oh, look at this thing, I'm going to attribute this to something completely unrelated, right? Do you think that could possibly be what happened with the turtle shell? Is that the Cherokee Indians, they took this shell and was like, oh, hey, we could actually use this to map out something completely unrelated.
Yeah.
And which would
But
bring me to go back to the question of, do you believe in coincidence?
hey, coincidentally, that is a coincidental question.
I like it. I like it.
I mean,
Um,
I just the, the constant is with all of these fascinating things that you find out, because you're not the first person. Like I even with a lot of the flat earthers, like they don't know about the turtle shell thing, and you do the history on turtle shells, history on the lunar calendar, you learn a bunch of stuff there. Um, but you just when it starts, what the common thing that you keep running into is you find all of these magical treats in this reality that, and it's like, wait a minute, why did they keep this from us? How come they never told us about that? How come, why are they trying to hide here? It's like every time you find one of these really cool Easter eggs, it's something that they never told you about, or they did tell you about it, but they didn't tell you the correct story.
mm.
And you just kind of start seeing a pattern with that. And so it's like you almost get addicted to it. Like, oh, what's next? What's next? What am I going to find next? It's really cool in this reality that they didn't tell us about.
Yeah.
And it just keeps going and going and going.
So, okay, good point. That they only tell us a number of things, right? Like they don't tell you about the turtle shell or whatever in school. They don't tell us exactly how the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. They just tell you that it is, right? And then I guess what that basic knowledge is supposed to do is provide the interest in looking into what those things are. And then you can go into college, higher learning, and then actually learn about how all that stuff works. Which is what I feel is my argument to, oh, well, they don't teach you that in school. Is, well, why would they teach you that in school? They teach you the basics. They teach you the absolute basics. Sure, these are fun, like little fun things that you can that make learning a little bit more fun. However, you're a kid, right? There's only so much that they're going to pack into your brain when they need you to learn the basics first. And then if you want to go into higher learning, then they go into the logistics of everything a lot more. So yeah, so that's my take on that is well, they don't teach it at school. It's like, why would they? Right. Well, just because they don't teach it, they didn't teach it in your sixth grade science class, doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just have to. Yeah, you're not old enough. I'll just tell you a really quick story. Because my day back, anyone my age will remember. We were all in school that day, and all of the teachers grabbed the televisions and wheeled them into our classrooms.
Yep.
And we all looked at each other like, "What's going on here?" And they go ahead and turn the TVs on, and oh, there's a Challenger launch. NASA's going to launch a rocket. There's a teacher inside the rocket.
Mm.
And okay, we're supposed to watch this rocket launch. Okay.
Yeah.
So everyone was supposed to watch this rocket launch, and then the rocket blows up. Okay, what happens next? All the kids are traumatized. All the girls are crying.
Yeah.
All the guys are like, "What's going on?" Everybody's freaking out. Kids were going home, and everyone's just looking at each other like totally shell shocked. You're in school,
Mm-hmm.
and a teacher just got blown up.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, 2 or 3 days later, teachers come to me and say, "Hey, we heard you're on some Ritalin. Would you mind talking to all the other kids about being on Ritalin because they're having a lot of anxiety? Would you go talk to all these kids for us?" So instantly, I'm pushing pills for a rocket just blew up with a teacher inside. And come down the road in my flat Earth journeys, I'm debunking NASA stuff left and right. Come to find out, the teacher was in the stands when the freaking rocket blew up. and watch the rocket blow up. And it's like all of those kids traumatized, probably for a long time over something that was totally staged for why. So you're telling me that the teachers, I mean, obviously they didn't know that the rocket was going to blow up, but they got instructions from somewhere all across America. Every teacher needed to take the televisions and put them in the classrooms, and so watch this rocket.
Yeah. So on that, I appreciate you bringing that up, and I appreciate the thought process behind it. However, I am going to have to end this topic because people did die. It was an actual thing that happened. Yeah, I gotta stop you here, Tyler. The people did lose their lives, and it was a horrible thing that happened. It's not up for debate on if it happened or not. The Level movie that came out that was following these random fucking people that were like, oh, you look like this person, so therefore you are. That was absolutely disgusting. So we don't talk ill of the dead here. But with all due respect, we're just gonna move on to a different topic. So I do kind of want to go back into the tropics a little bit. So I just want to backtrack a little bit, just a little bit. So we said what the answer to what causes the light in the sky to move at the perfect amount of speed, where no matter where it is on its latitude, traveling, it was the energy caused by that is by a higher power. Is that what I understand the answer to be?
Yeah, two things that I would say. Well, for one, being the creator, you would want a flat Earth makes more sense in that sense that you could watch over your entire creation all 24/7. So that's a beautiful thing right there. And the other beautiful thing is if the creator, the battery in the clock goes out, then the clock stops working. Well, what does the firmament feed off of? That's his creation. What does it feed off of? It feeds off of oxygen. Okay, well, what would be ideal for him to get the most amount of oxygen on a daily basis is make sure that everything has its light in perfect cycles. And because that's what the firmament is made out of. If there was no life on Earth, there wouldn't be oxygen, and then there wouldn't be a firmament, and this place wouldn't exist.
Yeah. So what okay, so I feel like I know chat, I don't know if you guys are if that was an answer that you guys are happy with, but that was I'm happy with that answer. So I'm gonna move on to what do you think creates the let's see. According to the flat Earth model, what creates the air that we breathe?
That's Gaia. I don't know. You can argue that one all day long. Some people just say it's electromagnetic. It's I don't know.
All right.
But when we say if there wasn't plants, if there wasn't any vegetation, which creates the oxygen, right? I mean, we consume it. The plants, trees, everything creates the oxygen.
Right, there we go. All right.
I mean,
all right. All right. So we're coming up on 11 o'clock. So so this is what I wanted to do, the Q&A. So guys, if you want to ask Tyler a question, tag me in it, because I don't have enough followers to do super chats yet, but one of these days, Tyler, one of these days,
I can help you, bro.
that would be fantastic if you could help me with that.
I got lots of people that would like to come hang out on this one.
Oh, beautiful. I love that. Yeah, I mean, I love to learn. I don't like to be a dick, where it's not obviously deserved, but if you're a dick to me, then I'll be a dick to you, but you weren't a dick to me, so I appreciate that, Tyler.
Yeah, that's how it works.
So Brian says,
You fucking bitch.
Oh, and then someone called me. Oh, Noam. I'm not reading. Okay, if you want to, does he have a? Oh, so one of my friends, he's super into cars, and he is envious of your Jeep. It's a beautiful Jeep. Do you have a duck on your Jeep somewhere? Is what he wants to know.
No, I haven't got a duck yet, man. God, what am I gonna do? I'm the Jeep capital of the world. I've never got a duck.
Love it. Brian Thomas says, can Tyler explain the geometry of the 73-mile high sun, say in New York at 3 p.m. in the afternoon when the sun is around 3,000 miles to the west? The elevation would be less than 1 degree.
Degrees don't work with the sun, bro.
All right.
Just don't.
Let's see. All right. Ask him to explain how the flights for the final experiment were tracked live all the way to Antarctica. So I believe I don't mean to answer this for you, but I do believe that goes back to like the buoys and whatnot that are in the across the ocean. But
and for the record, I have not seen any of that yet, so I don't know.
Gotcha. All right, fair enough. Let's see what else we got. Sundito wants to know if you know what Dunning-Kruger is.
Oh yeah.
All right.
You don't get here without knowing that or mastering it. Okay.
Again, guys, if you do have a question for Tyler, tag the Drunk Debunk show, and then I'll see that you want to ask a question. Brian Thomas says, if the satellite TV is tower based, how can I only get a signal when I point my dish out over the Gulf of Mexico from my RV outside of Galveston? So you're pointing your satellite dish up out over the Gulf of Mexico from Galveston. Let's see where that is. Do you know geometry? Do you know? I suck at geometry. I'm not gonna lie. So Galveston.
Dude, the big cities and shorelines are like, if you could see how much of a Wi-Fi soup on the shorelines and in the big cities, dude, it's like completely covered. Boom, the shorelines in the big cities.
But what about it? So he's pointing the satellite dish over the Gulf of Mexico, which would be southeast of where Galveston is. Galveston is on like a little island off of the east coast of Texas, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know.
All right. Fair enough. There's answers that I don't have either. So when people are like, tell me this, I don't fucking know. Look it up. All right, let's see. Tatum's Tantrum asks, what it would take for you to believe in a globe would flying to the edge of space and seeing with his own eyes do the trick.
Okay. Let me just kind of put this kind of like this is how it is, okay?
Mm-hmm.
This is why I've been following the sun so much heavily for the last 3 years. This year alone, I just hit number 1020 local sun over the ocean, proving a flat ocean. This is number 1020 images proving the same thing for this year alone. I've got plenty of other videos and stuff. Here's the deal. We talk about the local sun. Why is the local sun so important? Because the local sun, in order for that to work, it's got to be contained inside the firmament. Well, why would that be? Because we can clearly see the sun. We don't see a distorted version of it, which even let's just say the firmament is 1,000 miles away. Okay, we're still missing 93 million miles from where the sun is. Okay, so we see a local sun. Well, what does that mean? The globe model to work, it needs the sun to be 93 million miles away. None of us can even comprehend how far away that is. But what we can prove, like I've got my famous image that I did. We did it with two P900s, one P900 right here. It's locked onto the sun. underneath the clouds, totally lit orange, and then you can see the blue firmament in the background. So the sun is fully covered. Underneath the clouds, firmament is lit. Now here's the thing. We need to be able to, for the globe to work, you need to be able to prove 1.1 million Earths can fit inside that thing that is just right there.
All right. All right.
And so, and the reason that it needs to be 93 million miles away is so that Earth can orbit the sun safely.
Yeah. We're in the Goldilocks zone, if you will.
Without burning up. So if it's not 93 million miles away, and potentially from what we can gather, it's less than 100 miles. So how is Earth supposed to orbit the sun when we're observing the sun orbiting the Earth? So does the sun orbit Earth? Yes or no? Because every time I ask this question, all the Globers lock up. Oh my God. Well, it's not like 100 miles. Well, let's just say it's 3,000 miles. Like the modern mechanics triangulated it and they concluded 3,000 miles. You're still missing 93 million miles.
I mean,
yeah. And that to me is just like, and see, and the crazy part is that why would they call it, why would they say it's 93 million miles away? Nobody knows the answer to that.
I do.
Well, because the made up stories, they measured it with electromonitors, blah, 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 with microwaves.
We bounced radar off of it. Yeah.
Bounced radar and whatever. But when you break down, I don't know if you know anything about gematria, but gematria is the numbers playbook for the Kabbalah, the Jesuits, that whole thing. And so interestingly, when you type in God's Son, S-O-N, God's Son in gematria, it equals 93. So when we talk about, is the sun the creator or is the sun just the source of the creator? But why in the hell does the playbook, the numbers playbook for the Jesuits point to a 93? So they never measured it, but the point is the creation of the globe separated the construct of all the religion parties, so to speak. And so they were able to just like, let's just take the Son of God and then we're going to put it in all the books, all the everything's that it's 93 million miles away. It's too far away for the people that want to follow religion to be able to find God.
Yeah.
He's way out there. You're never going to find him. He's been right here the whole time. However you want to take it. But when we all grew up thinking that way, to break that spell, that's a good one. That's a good one.
All right. Yeah, gematria. I mean, that's equivalent to me spilling out my my bag of M&Ms and trying to find a coincidental frequent or sequence with the colors and how many there are. That's what I feel about gematria. But all right, let's move on to the next question. Let's see. Well, that didn't really answer the question. But okay, I think that what would it take for you to believe that the Earth is a globe?
Prove the sun is outside of the firmament, 93 million miles away.
All right, I think that's what you're getting at. Yeah.
That's all you got to do. Prove it's outside of the firmament. And I've been screaming that for 3 years, and nobody's been able to do it.
All right. So Brian says the globe community never cared about the Arctic video. It matches the globe. That's not really question a statement, but likewise is good. Flurfs have no standard of evidence. They just move the goalposts and say, nah. Do you have anything to say on that?
Say that again.
Flurfs have no standards of evidence. I think this is going back to when I was talking about standards of evidence, with like the timestamps and all that. They just move the goalposts and say, nah. It's more of a statement, but if you have anything to say on that, then.
Oh, well, I don't know. I think if they require it for us, then they should do like you were saying, they should abide by their own rules.
Yeah,
that's what they said, and we said okay. I mean, we were the underdogs at the time, so yeah.
Again, guys, I don't know if there's new people putting in stuff, but if you have a question, tag me in it so I know it's a question. I'm only looking at stuff that I was tagged in. So Brian Thomas says the moon won't be visible at Union Glacier till the 25th. Then it will be visible for several days straight, only possible on the globe. You have anything to say on that, or?
Okay.
All right. Brian Thomas says, "Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead."
I just gonna say, somebody said that they were gonna record moon while they was down there. Was the only thing.
Oh,
I didn't
yeah.
even look at the moon or to verify that. So
Yeah, it's not going to be visible. I thought it was until the 23rd. Wait, what did he say? Hold on. The 25th. I thought it was the 23rd. According to what FTFE said, it was the 23rd, but whatever.
okay.
Brian says Will Duffy has someone in Antarctica lined up to record the 24-hour moon and will post it in the next 2 weeks. What will that mean to Tyler?
That'd be cool. Because I mean,
Right.
have him take a picture of it or whatever with the timestamp, and then I can. Dude, I've got hundreds of people around the world that I can hook up with because they all shoot the moons when weather permitting and whatever. I can just line up timestamps, and if I could do something like that, that'd be pretty badass.
Yeah. I likewise. Brian Thomas, lots of questions from Brian. If the AE map works fine, can Tyler reconcile it with Critical Think's Sydney to Santiago flight data? So that would require us to pull up the final experiment website here. So we have, dang it. They don't have that flight. Man, it's on another one of my videos. So it goes basically from Sydney to Chile. Yeah, it goes right across.
Yeah.
So probably Brian wants you to substantiate that the flight data.
I mapped that flight out.
Yeah.
I mapped that flight out nonstop, Sydney to Santiago, and completed it on Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2018. So over 6 years ago, I mapped this flight out.
All right.
Use equidistance on the AE using a square and compass, and measures right about USA on the AE map measures 2,700 miles across.
Yeah.
And Australia looks 3 times bigger, and it measures 2,400 miles on the AE map. And the flight between Sydney and Santiago, approximately 7,500 miles. And that's using equidistance. So let me just let's see. I'll just pop this up real quick to see if I can get this on the first try.
Yeah. There we go. Yep, it's up.
Okay. Yeah. So you're basically just counting these squares going across, and so it says on here 1, 2, and 2.5, just like that. Same deal. Australia 1, 2, 2.5. So it looks bigger, but it measures the same.
Okay, but so that purple line, is that supposed to be the flight path?
Yeah.
So that's not the flight path.
No, it is.
All right. I don't have it up right now, and I'm at the Q&A section, but let's okay. So
anyway,
we'll take that at face value for right now. Let's see. What do we got? How can the sun be south of Union Glacier on the AE map?
The what?
How can the sun be south of Union Glacier on the AE map? That's from Sundato.
You know what? I'm not sure because I haven't really done a lot of digging into this, but I was looking last night to try to I looked on, I got a couple other AE maps, and I can't find Union Glacier on. I mean, I didn't get my my magnifying glass out or anything, but from just looking around, I couldn't find Union Glacier on any of the maps that I've got. So I don't know.
I mean, you can use the longitude latitude of what it is, but all right. So so let's see. Going back
Because I know that I've got the video of the 24-hour sun in Iceland, which was interestingly at 65 degrees north on the north parallel, and it shows the sun right down towards the bottom, just barely right above the horizon on the above the mountains, just right across the top of them.
Mhm.
And that's at 65, and TFE went to 79.5.
Yeah.
And the sun's way up here. Like, just there's just some things that don't make sense. But I mean, I haven't really had time to really dive into it. I'm just kind of letting all the rubble kind of settle after this whole thing, just really kind of put a shockwave through.
All
Obviously.
right. Sundato says, can Tyler explain what laser adaptive optics is?
Which what? Sorry.
What laser adaptive optics is? Can you explain what that is? If not, that's okay, because I can't either.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
All right. Why don't degrees work with the sun? Is the dome immune to trigonometry?
The only degrees that work with the sun is the 15 degree per hour does work. And so you take, like I said, there's 24 sections on the AE map. And so every 15 degrees is one of those sections. So 15 times 24 is 360. So that's a complete circle.
Okay. Noam says, what powers each one's sun? I think that's taking the stance that everyone has their own personal sun. I think is that a stance that you take? I don't know. You didn't mention that.
No, I get the logic between it. Just my experience, because I'm not going to rule that out. Like back in the day before I even got into this, when I would look at the ocean, I would look at the ocean and automatically I wouldn't have to think about it. I would just think that the ocean is curving, because why wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It's like you're looking at what you've seen on the TV your entire life. And you look at the ocean and you think it's totally normal. You think the ocean is curving. Well, once you kind of get into this and once you kind of break the spell, and we went back to Oregon that one week, and I looked at the ocean, and all of a sudden, like, it didn't curve anymore. Like, it was completely flat. I was like, what in the fuck? And it's just weird. It's like, I'm like, how come I didn't see this before? Like, I was really tripping out. So somebody that might have already kind of gone through that kind of spell would look at it and just think, for them, all of a sudden, it's normal. But, I would have laughed at them and says, no, it's curving. Shut up. It's not flat. But then you go through that phase, and then all of a sudden you can look at it, and it's just, it's as flat as you can see. And ocean curve, anytime they try to prove ocean curve, they have to fake it in some way, shape, or form. Well, if the ocean's really curving, then why do you have to keep faking the photos?
Interesting. All right. Well, I mean, that's quite the claim. But yeah, that's okay. I see what you're saying. Brian Thomas, to go off of the from pointing his satellite, his TV satellite to over the Gulf of Mexico, he says, I lose the signal when I point the dish to the city, is what he had to say about that.
Not sure.
All right. Sundato says, how does Tyler explain why it took 16 minutes for radar to bounce off the sun if it's local?
You can't bounce radar off the sun. If you get, you can go to my YouTube channel, type in weather balloon. The weather balloon gets right next to the sun, and it literally turns into a giant. It's like we looked at it and it looks like a solid ball, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get something next to it, and I've got airplane video that proves it, but the weather balloon one is probably the best. It gets right next to it, and it's just like this fiery white light thing. It almost just looks like half invisible, and it's right there in video. So it kind of changes shape as you get close to it, but then you'll see that it's not a physical object, so there's nothing to bounce it off of. If an airplane wanted to drive through it, it I mean, I don't think it could, because it's kind of like back in the day when we were kids and we would see a rainbow, right? And you would go, "Oh, hey, there's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Oh my gosh, that's over only a couple blocks away. Let's get on our bikes and go get see if there's a pot of gold." And you would go over to where you saw where the end of the rainbow was, and then you would get there, and then all of a sudden the rainbow's over there now. You're perceiving, so that this thing that you were just talking about, this bubble thing, which I'm really getting into this stuff. I find it fascinating, but it's kind of like the same thing is like you're perceiving the rainbow ends over here. Well, then that would mean it needs to be like some kind of physical or whatever. It's right there, and then you go over there, and then all of a sudden it's over here, and then you go over there, and all of a sudden it's over here.
Most plane doors.
So something is programming the way we perceive things, because you say it's right over on Jimmy's house. Let's go to Jimmy's house, and you go over there, and it's not there anymore.
All right. So what a great topic for you to bring up. Veritasium. Are you familiar with Veritasium?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
So Veritasium actually did an entire video as to explaining rainbows and how you can never actually reach a rainbow. It's actually really, really interesting stuff. I'll put it in the chat. Okay. Here you go. So watch that. Is a really good watch. I'll put it in these chats as well. I don't know if that's going to screw everything up. Nope, it didn't. Okay. So yeah, it's all based off, because everybody sees a different rainbow. And the reason for that is because the light is coming through each of the water droplets that are reflecting the spectrum of light. So everybody is perceiving it differently based off of where they are and where that light is reflecting off of. So it's super interesting. I like, even if you call it bullshit, it's still a really cool, interesting video. I do recommend you watch it.
Okay, let me ask you, and I guess while the chat, there's some people in the chat still. Have you ever seen a rainbow with the chemtrail going on?
I can't say that I have. I don't know.
Because I was thinking about this when this TFE thing come out, and then I saw Witsit and Jaren was trying to use the azimuth, the equidistant grid, the bubble thing, like you're talking, like we each got our own perception bubbles. And then I was thinking back to the rainbow, and it's like, if I'm standing here with my buddy and we're looking at the rainbow, we can see it kind of the same way. And it's almost like it makes sense that the rainbow is part of that bubble construct type thing. You can both see it, but if he walks like 50 feet over this way and he's looking at the rain, he might be seeing something totally different just from right there, that I'm seeing from here. So it's quite an interesting concept. So then you go, okay, well, if that is in fact, it does seem to be the case on our observation. So then we've got our eyes being, one bubble to get through, and then you've got this bubble, and then you've got the firmament bubble. So we got like 3 layers, of stuff to fully observe. So, it's no wonder we're all just kind of laughing at each other, just going, "You're crazy, yeah, you're crazy too, yeah, you're crazy." That's not what I see. Okay, well then, okay. Yeah. But if you believe what you see, then that's cool.
Let's see. So Sean Hawkins says we've measured the distance to the sun with radar. Yes, we went over that. Let's see. Sandato says,
what did you get on measurements?
So
I'm just curious.
So I mean, it's you can see it online. I don't know who did it, or I haven't actually looked into that. I really should actually look into that. But yeah. So like who did it and how they do it and all that kind of stuff. But I actually have looked into LIGO because my cousin worked for LIGO, and he actually was part of the team that discovered the gravitational waves that were emitted from two galaxies colliding, which was really cool. But that's a whole nother topic for another day. But let's see. So Sundato says laser adaptive optics is what is being shown in the Hawaii video. It's used to correct for atmospheric distortion. Okay, very good. Brian Thomas says my SUNE degree, SUNE degree question was degrees above the horizon at 3 p.m. from New York. 73 miles high would be less than 1 degree above the horizon. Oh, I see. Okay, so at 3 p.m. the sun would be less than 1 degree above the horizon if it was 73 miles high, is what he's saying. I guess. There we go.
So let me see if I can play this real quick. This is a really short one.
All right.
Let's see if this works. So can you see that?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I'll just play it like 10 or 15 seconds. So here's the sun. Here's an airplane. They're in a race. So this does not work with. Just watch.
I'm watching.
So right there, sun goes down, then starts coming back around.
That's such a cool video. All right, go ahead. Oh, I see. Okay. All right. So again,
videos where the planes chasing the sun, the sun's shining hot spots on the ocean, on the clouds, yeah, you name it. And I mean the crepuscular rays that we see. I mean, we don't see parallel sun rays. We should see parallel sun rays if it was where it's supposed to be, but it's not there.
All right, fair enough. I mean, for that video to be substantiated, of course, we'd need the time of the year, what the glow prediction would have been for that observation and whatnot, and where it requires a lot of
that was just somebody filming out of their airplane window and just shared it on the internet. That's not my video. So.
All right, yeah, that's fair enough. All right, let's see. 16 minutes for Sundato says 16 minutes for radar traveling at the speed of light. How is the sun local? So I feel like we kind of already answered that. So Tyler can't answer a question that he doesn't think is existing, like it doesn't exist. So let's see. Brian Thomas says a weather balloon at 73 miles elevation? Question mark.
No, it was, I think it was around 35, 40,000, somewhere around there.
All right. God is nowhere says, question, if TFE successfully schedules a trip to space with Elon Musk in 2025, will you step up and volunteer to go?
To go?
Yeah.
I could give a fuck less. NASA's had plenty of, they've had 56 years to just prove one freaking rocket going through the firmament, going to the ISS, even just, I mean, could you imagine if they did like a Hollywood or a holiday stunt, like for a holiday, like maybe Valentine's or New Year's or Christmas or something, they did like a live stream where the rocket shows up at the ISS and they just showed up to say hi, and they did a big thing on TV. It'd be the most viewed thing of all time if they did something like that. Why don't they do it? Like, they've never even done it once. That's all it would take. It's just, and they could have shut up Flat Earth 20 years ago. I think they legitimately want a war constantly going with globe and Flat Earth.
All right. Yeah, I mean, which brings me to my other point is like, why do they have to prove it to you though? What do they owe you to prove it, to do that though? Because I mean, they have the video from the ISS, they have the live feeds, they have so many other things, and along with data. You know, you can say data all day long, but You can dismiss the data all you want, but I mean, it doesn't make it just disappear. You know what I'm saying?
And so, Michael, so I've been literally for the last 3 years while I've been doing the Send stuff. Okay, I have been challenging and trying to help, even with the flat earthers, because there's a lot of lazy ones out there too.
Yeah, they make the flat Earth look bad. I'm just saying.
So when I tell people all of the national, see, the thing is, why don't we believe in the stuff that they show us or that they've told us, is because you get to a point where you have to decide where you want your truth coming from. Do you want to constantly rely on a source that tells lies endlessly and endlessly, and you think that they're not done yet, and they just keep going and going? And it's like when I tell people all this stuff with NASA, when I say that, yeah, it's a real rocket launch until a certain point, and then it all cuts to CGI. And they scream me, I get pissed off and say, well, why every time we bring up this and this, you say it's everything's CGI? You know what? And any of you guys in chat, whatever, or you want to tell your friends, you're a computer nerd buddy or whatever, here's all you need to do to prove it and see it for yourself. And I tell the Globers this, and I even tell the flat earthers this, because it's like, I'm tired of doing all the work, because I do a lot of ton of video editing and stuff in my free time. And so anybody can do this. Go download the free version of Photoshop, the trial version. You get it for a week, free. Download it. First thing you do, install it, and then go to the NASA archives, NASA.gov archives. Go and plow through as much images and videos, everything, anything you can find in there. Download, make a big folder, download all that stuff that they have from their website. Okay, and granted, you're going to find it funny too when you start seeing that a lot of the images are actually not high quality like they should be. You would think they would. And go image by image, load them into Photoshop, and simply adjust the gamma, and you will see picture after picture after picture after picture. Everything starts to pixelate, and you can kind of say, okay, maybe that's due to the picture isn't high quality enough or whatever, or it's overexposure or whatever. Well, take any picture you can find on the internet of a Mustang or a truck or a boat or anything, and throw them in that same filter and adjust the gamma. You don't get any pixelation on a real object. Pixelation is what it shows you when the image has been created by computer. And anybody can do it. You can try it and you can see for yourself. You will find you can go 3-4 days like I did, and you finally get sick of it, and you just like, oh my God, I can't believe people believe this stuff still. Because you can go image after image, video, live stream. You can take anything you want. Everything pixelates. So it's not just a few of them, it's all of them. Anybody can do it.
All right. So on that, I'm just gonna dig into that just a little bit, because I've heard this claim be made. If so, with the images that were scanned in from the Hasselblad cameras, right? Those are actual like physical film that was scanned in and then put up to the NASA archives. There are 3 different versions of those photos. There's the uncompressed TIFF file. And then there's 2 compressed files. So when you have yourself taken these photos, are you taking the JPEGs or are you taking the TIFFs? Because it's a huge difference. Because if there's any kind of compression, you're gonna see those pixels. But if you're getting the raw picture, which is the TIFF file, like we're talking gigabytes per picture. Of data, it really makes a big difference.
Well, sure. Well, I don't know where you draw the line. I
draw the line at raw pictures. That's where I draw the line. Well, if it's compressed at all, then that completely negates the argument.
Yeah, and so like you get into the NASA archives and you look at the images. Some of them, like you look at the size of them, and some of them are like, maybe like, okay, let's just say like 2,000 kilobytes, for the image. And it's like, what, for a space picture, that it should be like 1 million kilobytes or some shit, right?
Yeah, it should be at least a couple of gigs with a TIFF file, yeah.
Yeah, with a TIFF file. But for the majority of them, you can't you can't find any like super high quality ones. At least when I did all this is, like I said, this was about 3 years ago. And so I'm like, okay, well, and I'm sharing it, in the groups, and people are saying, well, you're using low quality images. Well, even when I was taking images off of the internet of real world things, even a shitty picture like 600 by 400, and still adjust it in the gamma, it still wouldn't give me pixelation. It would highlight the distortion in the image because it's low quality, but it would not pixelate the image.
Yeah.
And so over time, you learn to see that and say, okay, what's the best I can find? And it was the Artemis and the Orion live stream, which is in 4K. And you're like, okay, this should be juicy. Highest settings to download everything. I think it was, what, 4068 by, I don't know, was it 2800 or something? The highest quality I could rip it to from their stream. And I loaded that and I said, this should be good, right? Please prove me wrong. Please prove me wrong. And it did the same damn thing. Everything, the whole thing was pixelated, even in the background where there's nothing. It would go from black to a bunch of purple like squares and shit. It's ridiculous. Anybody can do it. It sounds goofy as fuck, but anybody can do it and see for themselves.
Okay. So resolution is one thing, bit rate is another. So if what you're talking about is because I watch YouTubers stream in 4K, right? But when you have your brightness up and they're playing like a horror game or whatever, you see big blocks of pixelation of different colors, even though it's being streamed in 4K. So it's all about bit rate. And if you're taking video that's being streamed live, right, there's resolution and then there's bit rate. So you have to you can't use that as evidence for what you're saying. So you cannot take a screenshot from a live stream and say, well, this is in 4K, I shouldn't be seeing these pixels. That's not honestly how that goes.
I mean, I thought I'll be lucky. At least I wanted to get in there and see what I was looking at. But I thought that there should be a mixture. Obviously we've caught them taking quite a few things already. So maybe we just found the bad apples first. There should be some, maybe half and half. But it literally 3.5 straight days doing nothing, loading image after image, and every single one of them was showing the same thing. And then you go back to, why haven't they done any uncut videos going past the firmament? And you go, because they know they can't go there, so they have to make up everything else to make it seem real. And most people buy it. I mean, I was a space junkie for a long time.
Yeah,
like,
it's really cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. It's like, I want to be there.
No.
I hate my parents. I want to go to space.
Dude, I gotta tell you, I can't even get in an airplane because I'm too afraid of heights, dude. Imagine me on a freaking spaceship. No thanks. So going on here, we have, is Tyler familiar with Joe Hanvey's model? I am not familiar with Joe Hanvey's model.
Yes. I haven't looked. I think he did a revision on it just the last couple of days, if I'm not sure. If he did I seen the one that he did, what, 5 days ago, like right before, yeah. I've seen that one.
Joe okay, all right. I know people by their channel names. It's that's the No Fanfare, right? Is that Joe Hanvey?
Yeah, I know what she's talking about. Yeah, what about it?
That was the only question. Was it's just, are you familiar with Joe Hanvey's model?
He's using the bubble concept thing that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
He's trying to use that to
I peppered that into my last stream, which was about the drones, by the way. I don't know how we got into that topic, but Sean Hawkins says parallel lines can never cross. The only way that the sun could be below your eye level is if parallel lines cross. Do parallel lines cross on flat Earth?
Huh?
So
from the sun?
Yeah, so parallel lines can never cross. The only way that the sun could be below your eye level is if parallel lines cross. Do parallel lines cross on the flat Earth?
I'm not understand. Parallel lines from the sun have never been observed.
I have a picture of parallel lines from the sun. Do you want to see it? Actually, yeah, you know what? It's so far deep into my pictures. Let me see if I can actually.
There's a bunch of them floating around that are AI generated, just so you know.
This one is, and then where's the other one? Here we go. Parallel light rays. All right, let me share this with you real quick. It'll be quick. All right, there we go. That's what I have. Parallel light rays. That's from space. Hey, it's a JPEG. There you go. Parallel light waves. But that, I mean, that's, you can call that what you want it.
Wait, they're going this way?
Yeah, the shadows are going to the right, yeah, but parallel to each other. Do you see that?
Those are light. Those are.
So the light rays would, I mean, the light rays, right, would be in between the clouds, because when you're on the Earth and you're looking up at the crepuscular rays, you're seeing the light coming through the clouds, right? So basically, these light rays, what you're seeing is parallel light rays. So if the shadows are parallel, then that would also mean that the light rays are parallel.
It's a really weird picture, dude. Because the sunlight's coming in on the clouds right there.
On
So
the left,
clouds
yeah,
the clouds are being lit.
from the
But
top.
why are these supposed sun rays dark?
Well, these are the shadows that the clouds are producing.
Oh, so you're talking about parallel shadows, not sun rays.
Well, the sun rays would be coming in between the shadows.
So
If there's parallel shadows, then there's parallel light rays.
no, because the clouds will dissipate the direction, and the clouds make the the clouds are blocking the light.
Right.
So that's why you're seeing the in between. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So these would be the light rays.
So the sun rays go to the cloud, and then from the cloud it transitions it, and then creates the shadow. So that's not actually the sun making parallel rays. No, the sun is never, the parallel sun rays have never been proven.
All right. Well, I showed you them, but okay, that's fine. All right. Let's see. He said the weather balloon was next to the sun. I don't think he actually meant next to the sun. I think he meant it was optically next to the sun. Sandado says he can go to see the actual film in the archives. Yes, you can go in and physically see the Hasselblad film physically, but you can go see the actual film in the archives, I guess. If I don't know if he's saying virtually but I know that you can go. I forget what museum they're in, but you can actually go see the film that the Earth was taken. The pictures of the Earth and whatnot were taken from the Apollo missions.
I'm just going through my stuff real quick. Just real quick, back to the firmament.
Yeah.
Just a simple thing. A lot of people just kind of overlook it. But you talk about proof of the firmament, thunder and lightning.
Oh yeah. Okay.
The thunder echo comes from the firmament, and lightning is it's Gaia ground being the negative circuit, and the firmament being the magnetic positive, and that's what creates lightning, is between the firmament and the ground. Sorry.
So what I was taught, which was really cool actually, is thunder is actually the lightning heating up the air molecules so fast that they slam into each other, creating a very thunderous sound. So the lightning bolt. So if the lightning bolt is coming down and the air around that lightning bolt is expanding so quickly that it creates this thunder. How is that bouncing off the firmament?
Well, you're talking like the initial lightning crack.
Yeah, because the heat of the lightning bolt is what causes the actual thunder sound.
But thunder can occur without lightning.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, come on.
that's quite the claim, Tyler.
Come on, Garth Brooks, the thunder rolls. He doesn't say thunder and lightning rolls.
Who cares about what Garth Brooks is in those shitty countries though? It's not a scientist.
But it's Garth. It's Garth.
Anywho. All right, let's see. Arizona State University has raw TIFF files of every Apollo, Mercury, Gemini picture. Awesome. So the Arizona State University, all right. So if we're looking for the raw files, that's where we go for it.
Raw files. Hey, and the other funny thing with when you look at the moon landing stuff, and you kind of think you're going crazy because you're like, oh my god, everyone's, I don't want to be any of these crazy moon landing deniers or anything. But you look at what are the two things have in common? What does the ISS and the moon landings have in common? Is that they never have, once in history, panned their camera. They never panned their camera around, which would basically indicate a studio set, and they call it the fourth wall. But if you really think about it, even kids these days, right? They go somewhere new. Oh, look at me! Look where I'm at! Blah, blah, blah. But you're telling me back then when they landed on the moon, like, okay, let's just set up a tripod. Nobody touch it. Nobody look around or up or this way. We're just gonna put it on the tripod and do our thing. It's like, man, they're kidding. Like, you go somewhere brand new, like you want to explore, right?
Well, they did. They took a 360 image of the surface of the moon on Apollo 11, and you can actually see those TIFF files. Of course, there are multiple pictures that are stitched together.
We can do moon landing another day if you want.
Yeah. I would actually, you know what? I would love to, because I actually did a whole presentation on. I have a whole presentation, but I do know more now about the moon landing than I did when I did that presentation, so I have a lot to add to it. But we'll talk about that.
Yeah,
we can talk about that later. Let's see. We have Brian Thomas says adjusting gamma on a JPEG of a scan of an analog original is useless. That's correct. Yep. Let's see. Sean Hawkins says, Tyler, can you communicate in anything but memes? Jesus. I am not responsible for what chat puts, okay? I just want to make that very clear.
In memes? That's not.
Yeah, you can choose to. I mean, I didn't even ask you if you wanted to do a Q&A. I just kind of threw it on you. So if you want to stop this at any point, you can let me know. All right.
Oh, that's fine. I don't care, dude. A lot of Glovers Tyler, like I come in like I don't know anything, dude. And I was helping run in a group when all this was exploding back in 2017.
Yeah.
Helping run a group with 135,000 people in there when the Flat Earth and Globe War was really getting ramped up.
Yeah, because that's around the time that the 200 Proofs video came out.
I've seen all of it, dude. I've been called every name in the book. It's all good. It's part of the game.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see. Brian Thomas says ASU March to the Moon archive. That's actually where I got a lot of my my proofs on for my presentation. However, that video is gone. I'm so upset. I'm gonna have to redo it. Let's see. Sundato says, ask Tyler if he would ever talk to one of the biggest debunkers like MC Toon or FTFE.
I've talked to both of them.
That would be fantastic.
Well, I debated McToon.
You did?
Yeah. Yeah.
How long ago? It would have had to have been over a year ago, because I've been following him for about a year.
It was right after he moved in here. What was that? So about 4 years ago.
4 years ago? Man.
3 years ago, something like that.
All right.
That was actually my first. I didn't do very well. I just kind of laughed, but he came to me like it was in the beginning, like, it was kind of more like we're going to have a discussion.
Yeah.
And then when it come to debate start, boy, his eyes got red, and oh man, he was, I'm like, shit, dude, you're coming at me with like everything. Like,
yeah.
I was not prepared for that, but it's cool.
I got you.
Yeah, I did that. And then Fight the Flat Earth wanted to debate me, but after he told me that he can bounce lasers off the moon, I'm like, dude, you're full of shit. So sorry.
Let's see. Does Tyler agree with Joe Hanvey's model? The Antarctic 24-hour sun is a reflection.
With all respect, I haven't dived into it enough to give an answer.
All right, fair enough, fair enough. Let's see. Brian Thomas says the speed of sound falsifies thunder echoing off the firmament.
The speed of sound?
Yeah, 700 miles per hour, right? Something like that.
I'm not sure, but how would we be able to calculate where thunder started in the first place would be my question.
Yeah, so basically what okay. So you'd have to have proof that the lightning actually causes the thunder and not the other way around. Brian Thomas says there are videos of the moon rovers traveling multiple kilometers in a single take. That's actually part of my thing, where you'd have to have a multiple kilometer long studio that also has measurably the 1/6 of the gravity of Earth studio and in a vacuum, or not vacuum, I'm sorry, in a very low pressure system for that to be faked is what I think he's getting at here.
Are we talking the moon or Mars?
Moon.
Moon. The rovers?
Yeah.
Well, what about the infamous picture of the rover being, it was sitting on the moon with nothing around it and there's no tire tracks? How'd it get there?
So there wouldn't be tire tracks. The tires actually were this metal mesh that wouldn't create any. It was designed.
Okay.
You can look at it. You can look it up. It's actually really cool technology.
Okay, we can save it for the moon debate.
All right, perfect.
That one just every time it just keeps showing up, and it's like, you mean, and it's just funny because if there is something fishy about it, you just at least you get a laugh at it because it's like, this is 50 years ago, and like all of a sudden you're figuring it out now.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Please, Tatum's Tantrum says, please ask Tyler how he explains polar and lunar eclipses.
Oh, you mean solar?
Solar. Yeah. Solar and lunar eclipses. Sorry, I should have proofread that as I read it.
A polar eclipse.
Solar eclipse and lunar eclipse. Yeah.
Yeah, well, as we're told with the globe model, the solar eclipse involves the moon in front of the sun, right?
Yeah.
For a solar eclipse, that doesn't happen. It's Rahu, which is the sun god, the hidden sun god. That's Rahu, and it actually, I don't know what. There's lots of different twists on it in religion, on the religion side, but it's basically the temptation for God to eat eat his own energy or whatever you want to call it, because the sun basically does eat itself, and I've got video proving it. But it's all about the sun and Rahu, has nothing to do with the moon for solar. And the lunar by itself is basically it's the moon by itself, and it's basically shedding. It's kind of like what snakes do when they shed their skin. It's kind of like a shedding, like a re-energizing cycle type thing. So,
all right.
But yeah, they don't interact with each other during the eclipses. So it's opposite of what they told us, basically, like just kind of like with everything else. As you go through, you'll find that they told us like pretty much everything is backwards from what it really is, and it's crazy. And you're just like, okay, that's the last one, and then you find something else. Like, oh, I got another one. Okay.
All right. So it's a very Austin Whitsitt way of explaining it, I would say, because his explanation for the lunar phases are like a image of a ferrocell magnet, and it like it kind of charges up and whatever. I don't know. It's a whole lot of word salad. Let's see. Please. Okay. He's correct when he said he's been called every name in the book. Oh my God. Because I've called him every name in the book on Facebook, says Sean Hawkins. He's one of your fans.
Right on. Yeah. Hey, and I'll just tell you, you know what? I mean, Gloversneak, it's like they think that gets under our skin or bothers us, or maybe we'll just, you know, get an erect on the way to the grocery store or something, you know, like, it really doesn't phase us. And the thing is, like I says, you know, you can show up in, if you go into the boards, the groups on Facebook, you know, on the daily, you know, pretend like you're showing up in class on the daily. How do you want to handle it? Do you want to go in and just cause a ruckus and LOL at everybody and da-da-da? Or you have an opportunity to sit down and you can learn some really cool stuff if you want to do that. And but if you want to, you know, however, whatever you decide you want to do, if you want to just sit and laugh at the people as a flat earthers and whatever, if that's what you want to do for like all of 2025, then do it. You'll end 2025 knowing the same stuff that you know right now.
Yeah.
It's just you you got a lot more ha-has and you found some more really cool insults to throw out there. That's it. Well, you're not gonna learn anything.
Yeah. I totally get you. All right. I've been so I have some chats over in Twitch too here. It says Cuppy says it is not possible to have thunder without lightning. This is what please
Well,
and then Cuppy says, please ask him for that video. I'd like to review that myself. I'm not exactly sure which video, but I'm assuming it's going to be on your channel, which I'll have you.
Oh, the eclipse?
Yeah, let's go with that.
If you want to pull up my channel, I'll get you right to it. Where do we go? Okay, hold on.
Oops. What did I just?
Oh, jeez. Oh, browsers. Okay, so if we go. Okay, oh, solar. Okay, if you go to my channel, just type in solar, and it's the second one down.
Here on
It's
Earth before night.
1 minute and 29 seconds.
All right, let's see. Solar.
Let's see.
I have all right, Solar Eclipse Alaska Airlines.
Yep.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, so I'll just grab that and share the link in chat. The sun eating itself one, please. Okay, yeah, there. All right, there you go.
It's just, I mean, it's kind of a metaphor, but it's kind of like, you know, it's interesting that, you know, the luminaries and the stars and everything, you know, they really do. It's like nature kind of just has fun, just kind of balancing itself, you know, everything. It's like the organs in your body, everything needs something else to work. They all work in conjunction, and this is kind of the same way. And it's so beautiful when you really break it down, and it you know.
I agree, and we'll go into before we finish up. I'll go into my views religiously, but let's see. We have so Real Cygnus says this was a legit question, by the way. He says, wouldn't it be more efficient if he just put on some actual clown makeup and stood in a corner? Is what he said is a legit question. I don't listen again. I am not responsible for what chat says.
Well, I would go like, do you not ever think that I've thought of that? Like, if that's where I'm gonna be one day in a psych ward or some shit. Like, if I keep going. But you know, I'm open to everything, and I tell people, you know, if you can. That's why when I go into these groups, I get jumped because I go in there. I'm the only one posting the images that back up what I say. I'm the only one that does video editing that backs up what I'm talking about, and it pisses the Globers off. They're like, oh my God, he's gonna give these guys some ammo, and now our job's gonna be harder. Well, that's kind of what it is. Like, get this guy out of here. And it's just the game.
Yeah. All right. Tatum's Tantrum says, does Tyler trust Jaren and Witsit? That's a loaded question.
That's my answer.
Yeah. I like it. I mean, I guess I can. Do you think that if they say something that's negative against the flat Earth and positive for the globe, would you think any less of them?
Dude, I know what Jaren's gonna do.
Yeah, he's already he's already made it very not very clear, but he's insinuated that he's gonna drop the whole flat Earth thing. But what do you think about Austin Whitsitt? Because he's sticking with the geocentrism flat Earth thing. He just says that this is a new data point.
You know what? I've seen this. I've seen this before. I mean, in fact, they tried to wrap D Marble. I'm sure most of us know who he is. They tried to wrap him up into this, and I guess he just, you know, said no, and that's why he just pretty much dropped off. So, you know, the whole thing is, I don't know. I'm not gonna say who they are, but take a character, and like D Marble, his whole thing was, oh, you know, we're gonna take a, you know, and a cool dude, whatever, and he's gonna build an audience, and then we're gonna create opposition because we're gonna build him up so much, and then we're gonna make sure opposition is aware of it, but then in the end we've got control over YouTube channels and all this stuff and whatever, and we're gonna make sure that he gets big enough. I'm seeing with Jaren, you get them big enough with their own audience, and then you do something and you crush them, and that's how you take down movements. You shred them slice by slice by slice. And if this does in fact happen with Jaren, which it's not going to surprise me if it does. So there you go.
So
and
my response.
Like,
sorry, go ahead.
And if I had a nickel for every time I had to defend, you know, Bob's thing with the laser gyro, oh my god, dude. I'd be sitting in front of my palace right now talking to you on the patio.
Oh man, I mean, it is pretty great that it did the ring laser gyroscope did show the 15-degree rotation.
And I mean, Jaren, he did his reasoning. He's like, it wasn't my idea. I was, you know, they didn't tell me what they were doing and whatever. Yeah. And, you know, it was giving me anxiety going, oh my motherfucker, we're sending him to Antarctica with Soon and Duffy. What could possibly go wrong?
Well, here's the thing is that Flat Earth Dave, so it wasn't up to Will who it was sent, right? You know that, right? It was up to the fans. It was up to the Flat Earth and the Globe debunkers. Like, it was up to them. Like, there was a poll. There were multiple polls to say, okay, this is who we want in this order to be sent to Antarctica. And Flat Earth Dave was the first of them. He won first place, but he said, no, I don't want to go. And I'm not gonna paraphrase or anything.
You're talking, just to clarify, you're talking Weiss, right?
Yeah, David Weiss. Yeah, David Weiss. Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
So he declined the trip, stating that Will Duffy was a demon, right? So, and I'm not making that up. That's what he said. But then since he declined, it went to place number 2, and the second place was Jaren. And then Jaren said, hey, I don't want to go alone, so you need to pay for somebody else to go that's on my side. Number 3 was Austin Whitsitt. So naturally, it was offered to Austin Whitsitt. So these two people just happened to be second and third place in what the public wanted to see over in Antarctica, which, you know, just makes sense. So that's how those two ended up in Antarctica. And then there was I don't know, the Hollywood cinematographer or whatever that ended up self-funding, that went down as a flat earther, and then all the globe earthers other than Dave McKeegan, they were self-funded and or crowdfunded. So that's how they ended up down there. There's 9 of them, but all right.
Yeah.
Moving on from that, that's MC Toon versus Tyler FE debate versus Tyler 432. That's the video. Thunder is approximately 0.1 miles per second from the source of the lightning. Not enough time for it to bounce off the firmament. You'd hear it you would hear it 15 seconds after the flash if it were bouncing off the firmament. I think that's what he's saying.
No, I don't. I mean, I don't know your experience. I mean, I live up in the mountains, and we watch storms all the time. I've watched plenty of lightning storms without thunder, and I've watched plenty of or heard plenty of thunderstorms with no lightning around. That's common up here. So I don't know if you haven't seen it or what, but it's normal to me.
I've seen heat lightning. That's really cool because you don't hear any of the thunder from the heat lightning, and the heat lightning just stays up in the clouds, which is kind of cool. That's my experience with seeing lightning without thunder, but I've never heard thunder without lightning. Brian Thomas says, I'm not okay. He tagged me in this. I'm not gonna lie, I find Tyler infuriating. However, I do appreciate his hold on. However, I do appreciate his willingness to be low key and chat. Thanks for the time, Tyler, says Brian.
Sure. Sure. I mean, I know I sound weird a little bit, but I mean, you can't just pick and choose, how this all works. It's like you gotta take it all, or you can't just pick and choose what's real and I'll just keep some of the fake with some of the real and that'll work because I like this stuff. No. It all, you either get it all or you can just play with whatever makes you feel good, man.
Yeah, I hear you.
And I'm willing to share my knowledge. I've done tons of stuff. I've spent a shit ton of money I wish I wouldn't have on camera gear, on trips, on excursions to go try and either debunk flat earth or debunk the globe.
Mm-hmm.
It was an obsession for a while, and it's like I wish nothing more than to be able to prove the globe, or for the globe to tell me you're full of shit. Earth is a globe. Stop with the dementia. And it never happened. I'm like, please just make it stop. And I can't, because you just keep finding more and more and more stuff. And it's like, well, fuck, I guess I'm only here for one time. Might as well, figure out what the hell I'm living in while I'm here.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's my deal. So.
All right. And the last one from Shovelhead Steve says, there's no debate the Earth is a globe. If you think it isn't, you're just too dumb to understand how things work. And that's the last one I got tagged in.
Yeah, you can think it's a globe, but you can't prove it. We can prove it's not a globe. You can't prove it's a globe. It's that simple. And again, back to, does Earth orbit the sun? Yes or no? If it's local, that means Earth is stationary and the sun orbits, and that right there is the silver bullet for the globe model.
Very good. All right. Well, I think that wraps up. It's midnight now. I do appreciate, and you're in.
Yeah, I got to roll too, man.
Yeah. So Tyler, I super appreciate you taking the time to talk on my channel here. Please stay in touch with me. I want to, there's gravity to go over. There's the moon landing to go over. There's lots of stuff I want to talk to you about. So if please stay in touch with me. I'd love to have you on my channel again. I do appreciate you taking the time, 3 hours of your life to be on this show.
God, 3 hours.
Yeah, can you believe it? Time flies when you're having fun, Tyler.
I haven't even looked at the clock. It seems like we've been talking for like an hour and a half, maybe.
Yeah, welcome to the Drunk Debunk Show, man. We have fun here.
Cool.
So yeah,
I'll keep in touch, and I'd like to, I'm willing to try to help you build your channel if this is what you want to do, because like I said, I've got a lot of friends that would like to, even just like a practice debate, just like they don't want to go on the internet and get their asses whooped.
Listen,
I'm just like,
make me be the hamster. I want to be the stepping stone for an actual debate for your friends. So please give them my info. I'll send you my email address if you want to send that to other people. Then go for it. I'd love to have more people on to talk to them. Let them know, this is a safe space. I treat you how you treat me, kind of thing. So yeah, that'd be awesome. And with one video, actually, the past 24 hours, I went from like 21 followers. Now I'm at over 125 followers now, which is kind of huge. A huge growth for 24 hours. So yeah, if you send me your friends, I would love to be their stepping stone in their practice, because they would also be my practice as well. So So I again, Tyler, I can't appreciate your time enough. So yeah, thank you for being here.
Cool, man. It was fun. Thanks for being cool, and that's how you learn shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
All right, man. You have yourself a good night. All right.
Hey, you too, bro.
All right,
We'll
bye.
do it again. All right.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right, bye, buddy.
All right, later.
All right. There we go. Really quick, I have to piss like a fucking racehorse. So I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere, and we're gonna do a quick debrief. Then we're gonna call it a night. Just give me 1 second. I will be right back.
Mike with a drink and a wild little grin, feeling like a king with a bottle of sin. Focus so sharp like a laser beam. World feels round when you're chasing a dream. Flat earthers preach, but I can't hear. Whiskey in my veins makes it all clear. Spinning on a globe and the night is young, laughing at the edge where the world's begun. Fill up the glass and let's toast to the night, dancing with the stars under neon light. Truth gets fuzzy but the vibe's so tight. Round and round we go till morning light. I just can't care. Headed in the clouds with the devil may dare. Senses on fire and I'm feeling divine. Sip of the truth from a tall glass of wine. Whisper to the moon and call it an old friend. Journey on this ball that never seems to end. Gravity's a myth when you're high on a trend. Drunk on life till we reach the bend. Fill up the glass and let's toast to the night, dancing with the stars under neon light. Truth gets fuzzy but the vibe's so tight. Round and round we go till morning light. Till morning light.
All right, I am back. All right, let's hop over here. All right, so that was what a great conversation. I'm really glad that he was cool. As are most of the people I've had on my show. They've been really freaking cool. You know, they've been chill. I feel like when it comes to the way that people are when they're on your channel, the way you treat them, they're gonna treat that back to you. So if I create this space where people can be honest and feel comfortable being honest without being attacked, that's my goal here on the Drunk Debunk show. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that conversation. I thoroughly enjoyed that conversation. You know, my goal here isn't to tell him he's stupid. My goal here is to tell people, you know, the way that things actually work. You know, so he tells me one thing, I say, well, this is how I understand it to work, and it's not to try and convince them that they're wrong. It's just to educate them on the different real view of how things work. So, which can be subjective at some point. Let's see. It was a really good convo. I was expecting him to be a lot more defensive. Yeah, I mean, I guess. But you know, when you treat people as if they're a human being, then I like to set that standard. You know, because if you watch all my other shows, like I get I don't know. I say, well, this is what it really is, or this is how I understand it to be, and then you can be defensive or not, but it's all up to you. Bro needs a Riley bottle under his desk. What's a Riley bottle? Shovelhead Steve says they need to know, and someone needs to tell them. I mean, that's what I was doing, right? I mean, when it came to the Q&A, that was more because like I needed to wrap it up. I mean, it's fucking midnight, so I needed to wrap it up. So I wasn't gonna like debate too much on his answers to the questions, just on the ones that I felt really, really confident in being able to talk about. But yeah, so hopefully soon the questions will be a little bit more obvious to me once I can get some super chats going on. I'm also streaming over on Twitch as well. So the channel on Twitch is Mike over IP, but I prefer keeping my YouTube people to my YouTube, if you will, because my Twitch is really just for everything that I do. YouTube, I have two channels. I have the Mike over IP YouTube channel, and then I have the Drunk Debunk show, which is two very separate things. Sundato says, what's sad is that even myself, a complete non-expert, understands the science better than him. It's really just a sad situation to see someone clinging to his flat earth religion. I mean, same with me. Like I have basic understanding of how things work, but I understand that they work. Like, for instance, I understand how the rotation of the earth works. I understand how the atmosphere following the rotation of the earth works at different levels. I understand how that works. I understand that the earth created the atmosphere, and the atmosphere has been traveling at that speed for billions of years, right? Like, I understand that. It didn't just happen one day, right? It didn't just happen that like, boom, we have an atmosphere. Boom, this is how everything works. It took billions of years for it to form in such a way that we are now here, right? So I just looked over a few of Tyler's videos. He is a tragic case. So you are Victoria. I actually didn't even know he had a YouTube channel. Well, I will definitely be looking into that. You didn't ask him if anyone ever reached where Earth meets the dome's edge. Damn it. I didn't. You don't mix the us with the tube. Wow, you don't want us talking to the flurfs. Oh my God, no, or tube globers. No. I did. The thing is that the way that this works is it cuts off so much. It only shows me so much of the chat. So like it just got lost. Like this is what I see in the chat. Like I can't even scroll. Oops. So I do apologize if I missed any questions that you guys asked. Let's see. Come on. Let's see. Also, if you push them too hard on the questions, they'll rage quit. Yes. And the idea is that I want to keep, nope. I want to keep them around. I want to have the conversation going. I don't want to be a dick and be like, yo, I'm going to be a dick for the rest of this time. Us Twitchers. Yeah, no, I just don't want to be, I don't want to lose who I'm talking to, and I don't want rage quits. I want to have like a decent conversation. But if you start bringing up stuff like, oh, these people who we were told died didn't actually die when they actually did, I have to draw the line at that. He was a cool dude. He absolutely was. He was definitely a cool dude. Except for when he brought up that the Challenger explosion didn't actually kill anybody. I had to pull a hard stop on that. Like, I let him talk, I let him do his thing, but then like it was like, no, people died. You're not going to disrespect the dead. Okay. That's where I draw the line. So, but other than that, he was pretty chill, and I like that. And if he gets his friends over here, that would be fucking awesome. I would love to. And if you guys know anybody who would be interested in being on my show, yeah, denying actual deaths is defo past the line. Yeah, exactly. So we need to do our post interview shot. So if you guys could grab your glasses, grab your mothers, I don't know, whoever you want to do this shot with. But we're going to do a celebratory after the interview shot. Per the Drunk Debunk way, thank you all, new and old, for being on my channel today, for being to my show. I owe all of this success to you guys. You guys are freaking fantastic. I love you all. To the Drunk Debunk show. Oh, yeah. Angel's Envy, man. That shit's good. That is delicious. Cool dude. Wrong about pretty much 100%, 110% of his talking points, but cool dude. That was a good stop. Yeah, I mean, you can only. I didn't want it to go all night, and we had so many other, like, there's like the whole thing about, well, the whole flat earth topic is there's a lot of other topics that are like subcategories, and like we could touch into those, but like if you really actually want to have a conversation, you have to save it for another time, or else you have like a 6-8 hour stream, and I'm not looking to do that. If you remove his Challenger death denials and Facebook meme storms, he'd be the most tolerable flurf of all. I don't know. I have talked to some flurfs on my channel, and I gotta say they've all been actually pretty chill. Man, such a slow, tough to watch conversation. You can rewind to any part of this and hear complete silence. So slow, very hard to watch. Lucas Patterson, I do appreciate the feedback, but I don't think there was any silence. I felt like it was very back and forth. I didn't feel any silence. But if you didn't like it, that's fine. That's fine. I appreciate you watching though, Lucas. I really do appreciate that. Cheers to all the fellow debunkers out there. Yes, let's go. Sundado says, I definitely want to watch your moon stream with him. I would, oh my God, that would be so amazing, dude. Oh, I want to do a moon stream with him. And really, hopefully that, we get to do that. Showing up for the boost is for ASK. The funny thing is that I don't even drink. Yeah, no shit. I've been here lurking and doing some stuff. ASK, that's fantastic. Sean says, what was the name of the AI app that writes the songs? I'm so old, so I forgot. It is Suno.com. I paid for a whole year of it. So every month you get 3,000 credits, which gives you some pretty decent stuff. All right. So on that note, guys, I think I'm gonna wrap it up. He was mumbling at times when responding to a few things you asked. Yeah, I mean, as you do if you don't know the answer, right? If you want to come off as knowing the answer to a question that you asked instead of just saying I don't know, which he did a bunch of times. You know, there's no shame in saying I don't know, right? That's actually showing integrity. Like, hey, I don't know the answer to that question. That's, but sometimes you just mumble and just kind of throw it off a little bit. Either way, it is what it is. Or are you trying to speak nonsense? Yeah. Well, Austin Whitsitt has gotten that down to a T. All he does is say, what does he say? Word salad. All right, well, that's where I'm going to wrap it up, guys. I do appreciate every single one of you that has shown up. All the new YouTube people, thank you so much for all your support. I will be making some more videos. Shovelhead, thank you so much for that sub. Really do appreciate it. I hope I did not disappoint for all the new people that joined in. I had 30 people watching at one point. Holy moly! I've never had that kind of traction on YouTube before. So for everybody who is lurking, who's been here, thank you so much. This is a brand new channel. It is a derivative off of my Mic Over IP channel, but since I'm doing very different material or content from my gaming content, I needed to have its own identity. So this is the Drunk Debunk Show. My brand new logo is freaking gorgeous. I do have sweatshirts and whatnot for sale with the Drunk Debunk Show logo on them. I will be purchasing some for myself. So if you guys want some, the link is in the description on YouTube. I will be heading off now. Thank you so much, Brian, Shovelhead, Sundado, Sean, Real Cygnus. Thank you all for your and Tatum's Tantrum. Thank you so much for your contribution to chat over on Twitch, ASK, Nawam, Copy, everybody else who's been who's been chatting. Landon, thank you so much for your continued support. I will see you guys. I'll probably see Twitch and Mike over IP maybe tomorrow night. I don't know, it's Saturday, but if not, I'll be back on Monday night with GTA over on Mike over IP, and then maybe Tuesday night we'll do another drunk debunk, because there's a lot of stuff to go over. Lots of stuff to go over. As data gets uploaded to the flat Earth. Oh, I'm sorry, to the final experiment. MC Toon, Dave McKeegan, Jaron, Austin, like they're all coming home next week. So let's go. We got lots of stuff to cover. So again, thank you so much. I love you all. Enjoy the rest of your night. Until next time, stay drunk.
Drink and a wild little grin, feeling like a king with a bottle of sin. Focus so sharp like a laser beam. World feels round when you're chasing a dream. Flat earthers preach, but I can't hear. Whiskey in my veins makes it all clear. Spinning on a globe and the night is young, laughing at the edge where the world's begun. Fill up the glass and let's toast to the night, dancing with the stars under neon light. Truth gets fuzzy but the vibe's so tight. Round and round we go till morning light. I just can't care. Headed in the clouds with the devil may dare. Senses on fire and I'm feeling divine. Sip of the truth from a tall glass of wine. Whisper to the moon and call it an old friend. Journey on this ball that never seems to end. Gravity's a myth when you're high on a trend. Drunk on life till we reach the bend. Fill up the glass and let's toast to the night, dancing with the stars under neon light. Truth gets fuzzy but the vibe's so tight. Round and round we go till morning light. Till morning light. Whisper to the moon and call it an old friend. Journey on this ball that never seems to end. Gravity's a myth when you're high on a trend. Drunk on life till we reach the bend. Whoa, fill up the glass and let's toast to the night, dancing with the stars under neon light. Truth gets fuzzy but the vibe's so tight. Round and round we go till morning light. Tomorrow